right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. We're back with the Anime Sovereigns podcast, doing a little bit of a new segment this time around. It's going to be the first ever Roundtable of Relics. We're going to be kind of hosting a little bit like an open discussion of sorts about shows that we all picked out one show to go over, shows that we find to be value. And in some cases, you know, some of you will have seen some of these, some of you probably not, depending on which one that we're talking about. So that's kind of what we're bringing to the table for today. What was our last cast? I can't remember.
It was like the sampler.
Was it not?
No, it was.
No, it was after. Oh, sampler. Yeah, we did
The-
sampler for the
was right
season.
after,
Yeah. Okay. Well, who wants to go first? Who wants to get first?
Yeah, we don't have to go in any particular order, just like who feels like talking when. It's kind of flexible like that, so.
Two people
any
muted
takers?
immediately.
I guess it's between
Yo,
me, Miguel,
bro.
and Khalil.
Bro, it's because I was sneezing, bro. I was sneezing.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bless you, bro.
That was some funny shit, bro.
God.
I just look at the overlay. I just see the mute symbol on two. I'm like, damn, bro.
Please not me! Please not me!
Do we have to? I mean, we can Josh drop.
I can talk Machia.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I can talk a little bit more Machia.
All right.
Okay,
All right. Let's go.
click on the ace, bro.
Let's go. All right. Tell us
Okay,
about it,
so-
bro.
Part of the reason I actually wanted to bring up Machia was actually because Bobby said something about, like, I have 70 years more of life, which made me think about Machia.
Yeah, he decided this literally seconds ago, you know?
Yes.
What a segue.
That's life sometimes, bro.
Okay, so Jeffrey, obviously I know you've seen it. I know Dylan is not. Have you seen it, Kilo?
I have not yet. I will watch it because
Yeah.
of this episode, though. So there you go.
It's also an original, which I know you fuck with.
I do love
so-
originals.
Yeah.
PA Works original. I usually watch PA Works originals too. Like I there's not
Dude,
many that I skip.
99% of what 99%
Actually,
of what PX Works does is original.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm surprised you haven't seen it
I
because
love
of
rolling the
PA.
dice, bro. I love-
Bobby, I don't think you've
True.
seen it either.
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah. So it's just me and Jeffrey who know about it.
no worse.
So, yeah, basically, PA Works original, like we talked about, and then Mari Okada is the director of the film, and you probably know her mainly from the one really big thing that a lot of people have seen would be Anohana. So tearjerker TV show. I think most people consider it pretty good. I like it a lot. I know Jeffrey thinks it's solid but not amazing, but I think
Yes.
generally speaking, considered a pretty good show.
You're talking about Anohana, right? Not this one.
Yeah,
Yes,
Anohana.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Anohana. And other stuff she's worked on, I Whisker Away, that was a movie that came out relatively recently, which I thought was probably slightly above average. And then Anthem of the Heart, which we haven't seen yet. I don't even think we can see it yet. No, we did. Yeah, we did.
No,
we did.
we have.
We did see that. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yo,
We're just going through the catalog to see which we haven't seen.
There's one thing that we haven't seen yet because I don't think we can.
okay.
Is it
which
that
is-
one
it's gonna
Mappa film?
No, it's Cloverworks.
Cloverworks?
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a film. It's Cloverworks. It's called Fuderu.
I
Oh, you
do
know
recall
what? I saw the cover for this, but I don't know much about it at all.
Honestly, me neither. I just saw that Okada was on the script, and I was like, oh, that's good enough for me to try it out. And also, Cloverworks is really good.
that. She's a household name, is basically what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah. So this movie is basically about a lot about the passage of time and motherhood. So it's the type of thing that's gonna make you miss your mom and want to talk to your mom. And pretty beautiful film, very emotional type of thing that'll make you feel it's gonna have you feel a lot. Pretty much. You're not gonna go in apathetic. You're gonna finish the film and be like, oh, I have a bunch of immediate feelings towards this film.
You know, this is kind of unrelated, kind of related. There's this thing that came out from PA Works not too long ago, It's like I don't know what it is. I think it was like a music video or some like
Oh, I know.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
about.
Yeah, it's called
It's
Run
like, it
Run
was like
Lantern. It's like a
yeah, it's like a 5-minute montage of basically all the things that they've worked on
all the
since they've
shit.
been in the studio.
Pretty sure this
Yeah.
one's included on there as well.
I haven't seen the little.
I'm pretty sure that every single one of their shows. is included.
Like literally all of them. That'd be. Oh yeah, you gotta check
Yeah.
that out. It's only 6 minutes. So.
I watched it. That's why I know. What
Oh,
it is,
okay.
So.
I see.
I wanted to bring up like a couple other things that like I feel like if you liked these movies / TV shows, like this could be up your alley.
Mhm.
Pretty obvious one is like Wolf Children,
Mm.
because just like a lot of like motherhood, passage of time, like slice of like coming of age.
Wolf
type of
Children
thing.
was cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think these are probably like my 2 favorite anime films, like up there. There's like a couple other ones that come to mind, like Perfect Blue is like obviously great too, different vibes, but those are probably my top 2 favorite anime films. And Anohana, if you've seen it, and I think for something modern, if you enjoy Frieren, I think there's a good chance you'll enjoy Makia too.
Yeah.
That's actually like a
And-
pretty godlike comparison for people
yeah.
nowadays, because like this movie came out like oh god,
28
8 years ago.
2018.
God, it's been so long. Passage of time.
Yeah.
It's not that long,
2018.
bro. We lost 2 years to pandemic, bro. Those don't count.
Okay, even if we do that, 6 years is still like not an insignificant amount of time.
I mean, are you gonna go to a 6-year-old and be like, "Yo, you're so old"?
No, but like 6 years before that, they were literally like not existing.
It be like that.
Anyways, continue, Miguel.
This
Yeah,
says a
but
lot
one
about
of
the
the-
passage of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the last things I want to bring up before I actually get into like what the film's about, that makes me want to talk about this is this, like we just said, 2018. For some reason, this film is what I would call is like kind of forgotten, and part of it is blame on Crunchyroll. So
Yes.
Licensing
the
things.
timing of when this film came out.
No.
Yeah, not just that, but part of the timing of when this film came out was after Crunchyroll cut off its anime award shit, which is weird. Like it's because anime, like Crunchyroll will just kind of like cut off like part of it and just like kind of won't talk about it anymore, or maybe they will, but maybe it wasn't in their mind. I'm not sure. It didn't get like nominated for any of this stuff, which Crunchyroll anime awards don't really mean anything. Like we kind of know that, but they mean something in the sense that like for a casual anime watcher, like they will look at it and be like, oh, like let me just like take this out. And 2018 had a lot of like good stuff.
Normies
Place Further
care
in the
about
Universe,
it for
which is
sure.
all, like,
It'd be like that.
yeah, and it's Place Further in the Universe came out that year, which is good. Like it was a good year for anime, and I would think at least like Zombieland, good, Megalobox, like popular, like which is an extremely popular show, but it just didn't really ever get like any coverage. I don't know if it ever got like a US showing here. I wouldn't be surprised if it just didn't, because
You know-
doesn't seem like the type of movie that
If
would.
it did, it definitely wasn't the year of release. It would have been like
Yeah, would have been
a year or year and a half later, is my guess.
You know, this says a lot about the like kind of the conundrum that we run into when we talk about anime films, even nowadays, right? Because even in current day in 2026, we run into issues where if your movie is not Demon Slayer, then good luck getting like proper coverage in theaters or like proper promo and this and that. And there's a lot of probably great films that fall by the wayside or don't even get, like you said, like English theatrical runs, even subbed out there. So like there's a lot of stuff that people will just have never seen, especially if they're not willing to go out and look for new stuff and then also pirate in a lot of cases. So.
Remember the fucking Shirobako film that I think everybody in here watched, and we had a whopping 1 day and 1 showing to make time to watch it, which is ridiculous. At least I had 1 day, 1 showing. I think you guys did too.
We did that for Kobayashi. Kobayashi had one showing on a Monday.
That was
bro.
another one.
Yeah, I went to Bobby to watch the Shirobako movie.
Oh, did you?
So-
Okay.
Yeah, and the screening was also a little scuffed. Like the visual, like was weird, 'cause
they did not care about the quality of the
pixels of
showing.
the screen for some reason were on the right side.
Oh
It
my
was really
god.
strange. I don't know why the video. I don't even know how a video gets fucked up like that, but that they did that. It was better than a Zombieland Saga for me, which had only 1 showing, 1 timing, like in dub only.
Yeah, that did happen, bro. I was so peeved about that, bro. Holy shit. He's like,
Quite strange.
it's so weird because, like, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, from a business perspective, right? Wouldn't you want, like, if you're only gonna do like one showing, wouldn't you want people to go see it so you can make some of your money back? Like, why is there such little care? Get like, it just, I don't know. It's so odd. It's so odd that this happens this way. In my opinion, because it's like it's so antithetical to like having successful anything, bro. Like you would rather, if you're gonna have one like one fucking showing, right, it be at a time where literally everyone, well, at least most people that actually want to go see it can actually do it, so that you can sell tickets. Otherwise, why are we doing this in the first place?
Not a Monday night.
It's like, I don't
the
understand.
people who license and distribute this shit like know that there's only a handful of films that will actually make a significant amount of money, and they're just cutting their losses with these other films. They're just like, okay, we're just gonna show this one time just because, like, you know, just like I don't know, we're obligated to, or we have to, and then we're just going to like cut it off.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a weird contractual thing with the anime studios in Japan that are like, you can have the rights to this movie, but here's like 5 others you gotta take with it.
Maybe.
I feel like this is a Crunchyroll specific problem, because if it's like a G Kids run, that's just gonna be running all week regardless of sales.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, yeah, that could also be in it, because CR is getting more and more as time goes on, so it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a little awkward.
Going back to like something that that Miguel mentioned about like Crunchyroll specifically. So like like Makia being a film would only like realistically be mentioned in the film category for the awards, but like the big controversy is that like, these other films were nominated, but like Makia wasn't even like considered.
Yeah.
So the nominees for like that year's Crunchyroll Awards was Not a Short Walk On Girl, Mirai, Listen to Bluebird, Mazinger Z Infinity, and Fireworks.
I've seen
where
3 out of those 5
films.
And
Puff Hat's
Wow,
Live
that was only their second year. That's funny.
Oh, and also the My Hero Academia movie, which I think was like the big issue, because like My Hero is already like all over the Crunchyroll Awards, so like, it doesn't need this category. And so people who saw Makia and like knew how amazing it was were just like so baffled that it wasn't even mentioned in this category. And I would agree.
I think the reason it wasn't mentioned is because it came out at the end of the year. I think, because
it came out at the beginning of the year, because it's winter 2018.
Yeah.
You're right. Winter's
at the beginning. Yeah, they actually use their seasons properly.
No, that's actually worse. Because I actually thought that it didn't get nominated because of like, it's end of year thing, and like, you know, whatever. But if it's beginning of the year, that makes it even worse.
Yeah,
I mean, then it's just like things at the beginning of the year are typically like more forgotten.
Yeah,
because it's like recency bias.
Yeah, people do not, bro. People do not have media permanence, bro. They don't have that shit at all. Whatever comes out most recent, bro, that's what the new peak is, bro. What you even talking about that came out 6 months ago? That shit is dead to me. We're on this new hotness. Like, bro, I'm serious. That's how people think. That's how they actually do. And it's gotten worse.
Only air anime in the month of November. We should only watch anything in November.
Imagine, November, they're just government mandated binge months where you just watch everything in November. No one has to go to work. You just watch shows, bro.
That's some crazy. Is that dystopia or is that?
Oh yeah, no, for sure, 100% dystopia, for sure. It'd be like that.
But, I mean, if you're like an anime studio, I feel like you have to like know that there are like peak times to like release your anime, because like
sure.
I noticed that like across the years, like more heavy hitters are like released in like spring and summer, because like they will like that's like the time frame where it's like, like people will watch it and like it will be considered for like award shows if there are award shows, like for Crunchyroll or for like any other like big company that puts something on like that. And they should know that like, winter is like usually the forgotten season, and fall is kind of like a weird gray area where like sometimes it's excluded because it's like too recent for like when the show is about to happen, or it's like the last season where it would be considered. So yeah,
fuck these award shows.
In the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things, the Crunchyroll Awards really doesn't fucking matter. Like in the sense like who cares like what wins, but it just sucks because like there are definitely a lot of like casual anime watchers, especially particularly like younger ones. I feel like where they just kind of like go in and be like, all right, I gotta, I watch a little bit of anime on occasion. Let me just see what the fuck's in the nomination section. That's probably gonna be the gist of whatever's good.
I think it's like even more tunneled than that, I would argue. Like I think that like there's a definitely non-ignorable percentage of the community that doesn't even look at the nominations. They just look at who wins and they just watch based on who wins.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck's a nomination, bro.
Honestly, like back in my day, when I'm like looking for anime to watch, I go on Google and I'm like, yo, okay,
good anime.
Like, these anime that are good, where are they at? And then I find some weird Gaia online forum from some random dude's opinions, and he's like, this is peak. And then I see someone else who's like, nah, that's for cringe weirdos. These are the shows that are peak. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So I get this weird swath and breadth of like random nonsense that's apparently peak. And I guess these guys just kind of like went through with the comb themselves and were just like throwing out different things. But I feel like nowadays, like with the younger audience, with like the more casual viewers, like it's not even like, oh, I see the nominee or I see like the winner. It's like I just see whatever Twitter gives me.
True.
You know? Like, and at that point, it's like, yeah, you're never gonna dig deeper than anything. With
yeah,
that, right?
like honestly, like most like the mainstream is like changed a lot right over the years, and in some ways it's negative because I feel like there's a decent amount of watchers that really only get their stuff from like TikTok. Even like it's not even just Twitter. There's a lot of
I know a non-zero number of people who keep up with One Piece through TikTok.
Yes, dude. There are people who go to One Piece tournaments. Dude, these are One Piece TCG players, and we ask them, "Yo, do you read the manga?" And they'll kind of like reluctantly answer yes. I'm like, "What the fuck you just say like that for?" He's like, "I mean, honestly, I just kind of like keep up with it on TikTok." And I'm like, "That's not a real sentence. I refuse to accept that. That's a real thing you just said to me." It's like One Piece is so fucking dense. You're really telling me that you're getting one of like the dentist fucking manga that I could like think other than like Hunter x Hunter and shit, and you're just gonna consume it through TikTok? But that's what fucking One Piece players do, and not just One Piece.
Attention
fucking
spans,
One Piece
bro.
fans
Attention spans are so cooked, man. It's just like that.
Like, yeah, I used to read it, but honestly, now I kind of just keep up with it on TikTok, and I get what I need from it. I'm like, man, you know what, man? You're enjoying One Piece, I guess, to an extent. I'll take it.
But you're not a real human, is what you're saying.
0 days without Bobby and I bringing up One Piece.
Yeah, let's go.
It'd be like that.
True.
So, on to like the meat of like what this show, like what this movie is like about. So I mentioned earlier, it's about like motherhood. So the character on the left here is an Eorf. So it's a race who are functionally immortal. They live like I think they do. I think they have long lives. I don't think they're immortal, but they live an extremely long time. And then this other character on the right is a human who is her adopted like son, essentially. So our Eorf on the left, the culture that she grew up in, they were murdered by humans because humans are like, yo, they're immortal. We should like try to find out how they do that, and we should like take that for ourselves because humans want to live forever type of thing. So they just kind of attacked her community of people, and she's managed to survive and found her way along with this newborn baby who is Ariel who ends up being named Ariel on the right. Mm-hmm. And she felt like she did not want to abandon the baby that was just left alone, who was with his mother who had just passed. So it's like, I want to take on this baby as well. It's like, I don't want to leave them alone. And she just kind of like chose to become the mother. So it's like a little bit like a found family thing, like kind of like a Spy Family type of thing, but it's like choosing to be the mother. And she raises this child, and she is about like, I would say maybe like somewhere between 14 and 17 years old or something, like at her appearance wise and age. And she's done aging. Like the Eorf stopped right around there. So she raises this child as a newborn, so 1 day old, and time passes by. Eventually the newborn reaches the same age as the mother when the mother started taking care of her, started taking care of him, but the mother stays the same appearance. So because the Eorfs are kind of like hunted, you're kind of moving like constantly on the move, because you can't, if you're not aging, you can't stay somewhere too long, because like okay, like I've been here for 3 years or something. I still look the same, and my child, the person I said is my child, keeps growing and aging. So eventually they start to say they're brother and sister because like all right, well we look around the same age now, so you start like rolling with that. And it's just kind of like there's other Eeyores in the show, and they do parallels between like motherhood for Makia and Ariel with the motherhood that another character whose name starts with an L, Layla, one of those two, who becomes a mother through different circumstances and has the same connection, but is not able to create the bond because of other circumstances. So, and we just kind of like see the story of Makia and Ariel aging, but Makia not changing, and Ariel struggling with this, constantly having to be on the move because you're not really able to stay anywhere too long because people will notice that Makia is not aging and then potentially get hunted out by the other racist humans because for some reason anime likes to do like, yo, what if we just be racist? That's like and that's like the general gist of how the story works without getting too spoilery with the other Eeyores and their experiences. But part of like the Eeyore upbringing is being told that you're like the lesson you're basically taught is like don't grow to like love others, like don't like love like something new because you're going to outlive them, and
like don't form attachments type deal.
It's just gonna hurt. Yeah, like you're just gonna be hurt. Like you're just gonna be hurt in the long run. And Makia, of course, grows to love her son, and kind of telling a story of like it's not forever, but it's still worth it. Like the fleeting experience for her, because Ariel's lifespan is really nothing to her who's functionally immortal, but it's still like worth it to have like that like time you do cherish. And there's a whole bunch of different ways that they like show this to us with, because since it is a fantasy movie, they just show it just like a lot of different ways. The Eeyores they like sew, or they create these like this cloth, and this cloth like holds their memories, so like they get to like live like their entire life because they don't just have to like remember it. It's like they're crafting the story on this cloth so they can just kind of see it. And it's I can't really stress like how like beautiful I think like this movie actually is. It's a 2-hour runtime, and I feel like it's just like a perfect like I watched it earlier today because I'd hate myself apparently. So I just kind of want to be sad, I guess. I started watching this movie. I'm like 20 minutes in. I'm like, wait, fuck. Now I'm just sad. And I get to the end of the movie.
Miguel hates engaging with deep emotions, bruh. But he does it anyways because he likes the film.
This movie is beautiful and I love it. But it makes me feel sad. But the good sad.
Good.
Kind of. Like it's the good sad, but you're sad.
Trying to feel something, bro.
It's the sad that makes you feel.
I would say it's like a good word to describe it is like cruel. It's like painful. Like you're seeing the loneliness, you're seeing the loss, and like the life of in Eeyore, the elder of like Makia's like whatever you want to call it, like the family, whatever. I don't know the exact verb, the best way to describe them. It's kind of like tell you that's like, oh, like it's like a lonely life. Like we are with each other because we're like the lonely people pretty much. Like we're cast aside because we're not going to be around the humans because we can't really appreciate them the same way. And at the end of the day, they're probably just going to get mad at us and try to kill us, which is what happened.
The envy is real.
Dude, I feel like a lot of anime, it just comes down to like, what? We're racism. Let's start killing the people who are different. It's like, they live forever. We could figure that out. That sounds fucking godlike. It's like, there's nothing bad with living forever, for sure.
Yeah, if I had to describe like what this film like makes me feel, because I'm the only other one here who has like seen it, is that like it really like makes you like feel like the fullness of life. because it's basically like telling like the whole story of like a life from like beginning to end, and you know, the whole idea of like what Miguel said earlier, where it's like the like love for like the Yorfs is like a curse because it will only like bring pain in the end to them because like they will outlive everything that they ever loved. But the ultimate message of the film is that like that experience is like worth it anyways, because this is like something that is like so beautiful, and it like it changes your life for the better. And you should not regret experiencing these types of things and making these connections with these types of people, because that is like what makes your life what it is and what makes it fulfilling in the end. And it's just a beautifully executed message. It's something that like Mari Okada has like had experience like telling. She's told a lot of stories about like death and like coping with the death of your loved ones. And I would say that this is like her magnum opus when it comes to delivering that message. I really don't think it's close. I think this is like the best thing that she's ever made. I don't know if you would agree, Miguel, of the things that you
For
listed.
sure.
For sure. Okay. We're on the same page.
There's one other little thing I want to talk about. So this is gonna sound so stupid. This is the type of thing you would see on Facebook when we were all fucking younger, where it would say something along the lines of it's like a message to people who have moved away from their parents, like, you know, they moved out, you know, like whatever, their parents are now empty nesters. And it was basically a message, like it was like kind of like doing like a math equation. It was saying like, okay, if you moved out of your parents' house at age 23 years old, which I would say is like, you know, for a typical person, relatively reasonable, could be a little bit early, could be a little bit later, like, you know, whatever. It's like at some point, and then you see your parents or your mom, whatever, for the context of Makia, 5 times a year for, you know, a day each or something. It was like going over like the numbers of the percentage of time that you've spent with your parents already. Because, like, you know, if the idea is if you live another 70 years, which is why I want to talk about, because Bobby says 70 years. if you live another 60 to 70 years for Bobby, because he's Asian, so he's gonna live a long time. So 60 to 70 years, you moved out of your parents' house at age 25, 26 or something, and you're now age 28. You've already spent like 90% of the time that you would have, 90+% of the time that you would have with your parents already. Because if you moved away and you see them maybe 6-7 times a year, which I think if someone moves away from their parents like relatively far, that's like pretty understandable. And then eventually your parents will obviously die at some point in the next 40, 50
Damn,
years.
bro.
Depending on their... Hey, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what your fucking parents are. If your parents...
No, my mom's living forever. Fuck you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mom's Makia? Shit. All right.
Your mom's a Yorf, bro?
She's the GOAT, bro.
Yeah, so it's like basically the idea is if you're gonna see your parents a handful of times a year, like, you know, between 6 and 10 times a year for the next 40 years, you're only gonna see them X amount of times. It's like a stupid Facebook thing that they would post when I was like younger that I just remember, and like it's like to make you feel bad for not calling your parents. Like that's like literally the entire point of the Facebook page, of the Facebook post. And this movie also does that. It makes you feel bad for not calling your mom. So go call your mom if you have not talked to your mom.
Call your mom, bro. Get her on the phone.
Don't leave the stream. Don't leave the stream though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Keep us on. Call your mom.
But yeah, this movie it's in like my top 3 easily favorite anime movies. I think the other ones I would say are like Wolf Children, and the Kaguya movie is fucking fire. I like that one a lot.
You should probably specify that he means Kaguya-sama, because there's just another movie that is Kaguya that came out that people are talking about.
The rom-com.
So yeah.
Kaguya-sama the rom-com, not the Kaguya that just came out. That's not the Sama, just Kaguya.
Kaguya, no
and then
Sama.
like Perfect Blue is pretty fire. I guess you can never hate on Perfect Blue. And it sucks because not enough people have seen this movie. Like I actually just for sure believe that, because this movie is not like particularly, I'm not gonna say it's not popular. Like I think people know it's good if they've seen it, but it's just not one of those ones that like spreads out like that much. It's one of those ones like if people have seen it, they talk about it, and like it's kind of, you know, it spreads through like word of mouth. But it definitely did not spread in the time period that it was out.
It's like a cult following it in a way. It's kind of like that.
The only people who know about this film are people who like closely follow like the works of Mari Okada, because you know she's a household name, so people will like follow all of her works.
Yeah,
and the people who and the people who like watched the film because like it was mentioned because it was not nominated during the Crunchyroll anime.
Yeah, it's one of
year.
exactly. So people bring it up. It's like,
It's
no
one-
one's talking.
Yeah,
one
it's
of those two
residuals.
scenarios are
Yeah,
the only-
it's residuals.
Yeah.
And how many people realistically are?
What-
Well, like you got to think. What percentage of anime watchers do you think follow it closely enough to know actual staff members and follow their careers? Think about that. It's not that many. It's not the.
I mean, it's a small number, but I'm saying that these are the only people
Yeah.
that will watch this film. So, but we want to change that because like this film like definitely like deserves to be viewed by more people, and I think it's honestly like a pretty easy sell for most people because like it's not a typical like anime. Like when like the hardest part about recommending anime is that people will like hear anime and think like, oh, like the fan servicey like medium, and I'm like no.
There we go.
I
bro.
mean, like
Zero
there's
that.
plenty of great anime that like don't engage in like those type of tropes, and this is like definitely one of them. So it's just like a really like well written like story of like transience and motherhood and like coming of age, and without any of like the bullshit that people typically associate with anime.
One good
so
thing is
it's an easy
we're
sell
gonna talk about another.
for people.
We're gonna talk about another PA Works show later, and I think PA Works, to most people, is considered pretty fucking good now. I would say, like PA Works has had a lot of like good stuff, particularly in the last like, I don't know, ever since like
I feel like PA Works is a
20
ball knower studio, bro. It's like
a what knower?
it's a ball knower
Ball
studio.
knower. Whereas-
Like I feel like if you're like really about the medium, you know that PA Works is good. But if
But even like Angel,
what'd you say? Even like what?
Angel Beats is a show that I think is dog, but like a lot of people like Angel Beats. So like
Yeah, but
and
that's
PA
old. I
Works
feel
is
like
not
that's a little
show-
different.
show-
But
That's what I'm saying. Okay, it's old, but then like you can, if you keep going, because PA Works is not a studio that dishes out like a fuck ton of content. So like in the last few years, you have like your boy Kong Ming, which was like more popular than you would think. Shirobako is a niche show, so I'm not gonna bring that up. The Iraduku show, The Worlds in Colors, that show had a benefit of being on Amazon, which for some reason people just watched it. I feel like that show is more popular than I would expect. I don't exactly know why, even though I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I'm just saying like
yeah, that was a show I picked up on a whim back then.
Aquatope-
We all did. We watched that one together. I'm pretty sure we did.
Most of us did.
Yeah.
Aquatope. I don't know how popular Aquatope was because I don't really remember, but it's fucking good as hell.
It's not popular.
It's not popular.
Not at all.
Oh, actually, no, it has some fucking problem. I
Right under
remember.
the radar.
Yeah, I remember. And like, what the fuck else is PA Works?
Akiba
Works
made
done?
more
Like,
did well
more
on social
recently?
media. So like, yeah.
Yeah,
They
that
did
show
skip
was
over.
Super.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was recent, which that probably flew under the radar. I mean, your boy
Which one?
Kong Ming was popular. Maybe that.
Kong Me.
Your boy
Skip
Kong
it
Ming.
over.
maybe that gets people in. I don't know, man. I feel like PA Works is like a good enough studio where I feel like they're not a huge one in the sense they don't dish out like a fuck ton of product. But like if people like or content, not God, I said product. Too much card games. Where they dish out like a bunch of content,
Drug dealer.
but it's like enough that it's like relatively popular. Where it's like, oh wait, like where the name might stick out. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just have a skew perspective. I like PA Works.
I think again, like it's like one of those things where like if you ask like a mainstream anime watcher to name studios, PA Works does not come up. I
Yeah.
don't think. I don't think
Yeah,
it
you're
comes
probably
up. They
they
will
say-
talk
they say
about
Mappa,
Mappa, UFO table,
A1.
Somebody floated out a tier list like
A1. Oh yeah. Yo, link me that. I think I know what you're talking about, but I only
We'll
glanced.
put
I
it
didn't
on.
get
We'll
to.
put it on the screen.
Yeah.
People, the ball knowers were mad about that list. I was mad about that list.
Do you have the link,
Not-
Dylan? Can you
not-
find it?
Well, I'll find it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll bring that up.
Because that was it's again, it's like as we observe more and more
Phone.
discourse, it's like you kind of realize like how little, like, or not how little, but like how tunneled the like the perspective of so many watchers is, right? Like they really only know like a few things. Okay. Hold on.
They did say in the 2020s, but it's still a bad list.
I'm gonna put this on the
Mappa,
screen.
UFO table, Cloverworks, and Big Three.
All right, this is what they put, bro.
I mean, I can understand.
Didn't they put a gap? They put a gap?
The
That's
gap is
crazy.
crazy, bro.
Oh,
What do
wait,
you
we're getting
mean?
a gap? I didn't even think of that.
Yo, the gap is crazy.
How did they have a gap when Kyoto Animation?
The gap is crazy, bro.
If you watch a lot of anime, I feel like if you watch a lot of anime, Kill Annie just has to like objectively be in the top, like in the top tier.
I just this is just not. This person's not a ball knower. It'd be like that. They're like clearly not
I
a
think
ball
the top
knower.
three
Right?
doesn't surprise me though. The top three they put does not surprise me. It's more the gap between fucking other ones that pisses me off.
I would expect.
This is like.
Yeah, go ahead. Good.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, as mad as this list makes me, it is like an indication that like only like certain like studios are like a consideration for like the typical anime watcher, where like they will like not pay attention to studio unless it's like one of like these,
Yeah.
or one of like
Dude,
Mappa, one of UFO Table.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that honestly I'm surprised they have Cloverworks up there.
Yeah,
'cause,
me
like,
too.
Cloverworks
I
is,
actually
like,
thought it would be
it's a
A1
recent thing.
or something
Yeah,
instead,
that's what I
or
would
even
think.
like even like
why?
Wit
You
or
know
something.
why? This
This is
is
recent.
made based on what Shonen Jump series do you
Yeah,
run?
no, but that's the thing. That's what like. It's like it's very clearly this person probably just watches a whole lot of Battle Shonen, bro. Like, it's,
And then they're like, yeah, Spy X Family is gas.
yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, Cloverworks, you could stay.
This is them saying like, oh, my favorite anime of like the 2020s is like Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, and like Spy Family.
No, like Cloverworks is the diversity hire. They're like, they can't
True.
know I'm only into
True.
fun.
I
I don't.
hate you,
I want them to not know that I'm not a ball knower, bro. I have to have something to break up the.
But
Please.
they can't do that because they put a barrier next to like great
Bro, the
studios.
barrier is so insane, bro.
That barrier is actually insane.
It's
I didn't
so
even really acknowledge the
crazy.
barrier.
It's so crazy. It's so like,
they
what is
also
Orange doing down there, bro? What are they doing down there? They're gonna.
I think it's only
Yeah,
I'm really trying to like get into this person's head. I think like those studios are like down there because like they don't like push enough like of their works nowadays. Because like Shaft being down there, I actually like understand because like they have like had a slow output over the last like over the 2020s, you know. And so has Orange, but like the work that they do like put out, obviously it's like above what that
We talk
is.
about
That
quality
tier
over
is.
quantity or what? What's up? There's.
This is the quality.
I know.
The quantity thing. Honestly.
I know.
Because like Mappa's been pushing out shit. Like UFO Table, like not so much. It's just, they've just been like the Demon Slayer machine for the past few years. But like they're still like.
Oh,
releasing
not this
shit.
year, man. Not this year.
Recent announcement: they are not the Demon Slayer studio in
The
2026.
thing with Orange is that Orange being like full CGI, like the stuff that they make takes like an even longer amount of time, so they definitely cannot pump out like crazy stuff. So they're gonna pump out like 1-2 shows. And,
They don't need to, bro.
mean,
That's the
they're-
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's like in the eyes of like a random person.
Yeah.
Like Orange, I've heard, but it's like I've only seen like fucking B-stars and shit.
And
What the
then
fuck
there's
are they
already the CGI stigma amongst normies too, so that doesn't help
Right,
them
yeah, but
either.
if you're CGI stigma onto Orange, I think you're a silly lad.
Okay, but there's plenty of silly
I
lads
was
out
trying
there,
to be
bro. Look at this
There's
fucking
plenty,
gap.
yes.
Look at that.
All I'm gonna say is, when everything's said and done, and it's the year 2080, and I'm an old man, I will know in my heart that Shaft has made the Monogatari series, Madoka Magica, and other goated shows.
True.
And if they only pump out one piece of content every decade, and they're all goated, they'll still be my favorite.
That's what I'm
studio.
saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't need them
Bobby.
to mass produce shit, bro. I don't need that.
Bobby, you're a zoomer. You're a zoomer, but in anime, you're a fucking boomer. So
Yeah, no, I started watching anime on the internet when I was 10.
I'm sorry.
When Toonami was shut down, bro, it was over. I was like, where do I go? And I went to Google and typed where to watch Naruto for free.
Anyway, this is all to say.
Be like that.
This is all to say that that this list is ass, and maybe we'll make our own list for a short or something. Who knows?
That'd be pretty funny.
I'm not trying to trash
Hey, I feel
videos.
like they
Trash
get mad at
videos.
us, but that might be better for them to get mad at us, honestly.
That's the short content meta.
Yeah, that's true.
Make something
Trash
that's
studios
controversial.
mean, though.
That's true.
They're working. They're doing a job.
At least we'll know that we'll be being genuine, bro. As long as we're not lying to people. Fuck
Yeah,
it. It's like-
true. We would never lie. Anyways,
All right. I think that's about it for Makia. We've also talked about a bunch of other stuff, but hey, that's fun too.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of like what we're
Yeah,
going
that's
for.
kind of
just, like,
the
open
point.
Discussion,
Yeah.
wherever we go, like the conversation will go. So
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Back to the table.
It's just casual banter
Uh,
section, except it's in the podcast too.
All right,
All
who's
right.
next?
Anybody else wants to step up to the plate?
Dude, Bobby wants to talk about Gintama.
Yeah, sure, let's do
Okay.
it. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
This is probably I'd imagine this will be the shortest segment because I'm the only person here who has watched the whole.
Hey, let them know,
Oh,
bro.
you're right.
Hey, you got the
Listen.
floor.
All right. Listen. So for context, all right, this is a very strange thing to exist in the sphere of anime. Gintama, the source of the source, is my favorite anime of all time. Now it's complete bias. I can't argue with you why it's one of the absolute goats of all time. People will label it as a comedy, but it's more than just a comedy. People will say, "Oh, the fights are better than other shonen." They're lying to you, but you know it's okay. It's
You said
okay that they're
favorite,
lying
not
to you
best, so
because
it's okay,
still
bro.
fire.
Is the
Exactly. Gintama is a show that's like near and dear to my heart. It genuinely, I think, like that. Like, have you ever seen that meme of like a good book can change your life, and it's just like a bunch of bozos
Yes.
walking into a book, and then it's like upstanding people? That's like Gintama to me. I think when Gintama's like actually a formative part of my character, genuinely, I think. And I would say that like it's one of the most insightful shows while also being probably one of the most unrecommendable anime I've ever seen in my life. If you've noticed in all the top anime scores, all the top anime like sites, right? Gintama for some reason just seems to obliterate and dominate the space of like the top 15, 20 anime. And no one has seen this shit. So it's like, how does it keep doing it? It's because the people who commit to the show love the show, and I'm one of those people. So Gintama has been over. It ended in a way that the author wanted, which is incredibly rare for shonen anime. God bless Gintama. But here we are with this weird-ass Ginpachi zany class 3Z Ginpachi Sensei. Why does this exist? Why are they beating the dead horse? Is this the Dragon Ball GT of Gintama? And we'll revisit that question in a moment. First, we'll say me watching this show, episode 1, I thought to myself, wow, it's all my favorite characters just in this weird ass setting. This is a strange gimmick to take the show, and I'm kind of
Whoa.
What the heck?
It sounds like
Get an Amber Alert?
Yeah.
Blizzard warning?
Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah,
think it's
blizzard
weather.
warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who even was that?
Sorry.
Who
That was me.
Oh,
Sorry about
okay. You're fine. I just
New
was
Yorker,
like,
baby.
That was loud, bro.
I mean, loud on purpose because they want you to hear it.
Yeah.
But
Listen, bro. The blizzard warning is for this show because it's cold as hell.
Okay, bro.
No.
Anyway.
All right, bro.
Boo.
Nah, but so the first episode of me watching the show, I'm literally like watching it, thinking to myself, like, I'm both excited to get more content because one of the things about the Gintama anime that's so beautiful is that the filler is made with so much love from the anime staff that you can't even tell it's filler. It's actually incredible content. And so I'm on one hand, I'm like, ooh, this is weird. It's beating a dead horse. But at the same time, the people doing it clearly know what the core essence of Gintama truly is. So I'm kind of like coming in with this like bated breath, like, is this going to be okay? Is this not going to be okay? And so the first episode, I'm like, okay, it's all my favorite characters in this weird new setting, and they take a really strange meta approach where the characters in the show are self-aware that there was a show called Gintama, and that these ancillary characters are just analogs for the real characters in Gintama and are not the real characters from Gintama. And I'm like, okay, weird meta humor, but okay, Ginpachi Sensei is technically not Gintoki, even though he's Gintoki. And I'm like, okay, sure. But it's a weird gimmick. One episode through, I'm like, that was strange, but I didn't hate it. I watch episode 2, and I think to myself, this is weird. These characters, this isn't the same show with the same people. Because the setting inherently causes the relationships of the characters to be different. The interactions between the characters have to be different. It's jarring. And I'm like, this can't be good. This is just strange. Episode 3 comes in. This show is just a comedy. One of the beautiful things about Gintama as a series is that it's all slice of life comedy until suddenly it's not. And I think the show like truly has this beauty to it where you care so deeply for the characters and their goofy zany antics that when their daily lives are being threatened by real like deeper like more sinister plot lines, you're invested. Not necessarily because the show did a masterful job at directing or orchestrating the scenario, but because you know firsthand what the thing the characters are protecting is. You know that they're protecting the peaceful days of comedy. You know what their piece looks like, and that's why you're invested. It's like this strange, like organic, like concoction of like, yeah, the thing that's important to us, it's all the comedy. That's the things that the characters truly appreciate, and I've seen it firsthand, real time. I know what's up. So in Ginpachi Sensei, there's not really the threat of weird alien samurai nonsense. One of the things about Gintama as a show is that the setting is just strange. It's old-time Japan, but it's an alternate universe where there were aliens that came down and introduced technology to the weird, like random samurai in Japan. So you can honestly do anything you want in Gintama. The setting has no restrictions because you could just say the aliens did it. And it's like, oh, okay, makes sense. Ginpachi Sensei is just at a school. And you really start to feel this when it's like, okay, this is not the same show. It's not the same characters. And if anything, it's actually more limited and stifled by the setting. So now I'm starting to have doubts. Like, this is Gintama, but it has no soul, is where I was at in episode 2. In episode 3, they get meta again. I'm going through episode by episode. I'm so sorry, guys. In episode 3, there's one character. He has like no comedy moments in the main series because he's only reserved to be an edgelord. He's supposed to be like this dude who's like only there when the plot is getting real, and so he doesn't really have any like comedy ties. But they introduce him in the Ginpachi Sensei as the reclusive dude who was suspended. And it's weird. There's like this weird meta take on this character where they're like, we have to adapt this guy who's unadaptable into this setting. Like, it's all about the original lore and the setting. And this guy is just not able to be translated. Like, his character doesn't make sense in this setting at all. But they still have to put him in there somehow. So throughout the show, it's like, it's this weird like thing of, so there's clearly an attempt to be Gintama, and honestly, as a Gintama fan, I'm not the most disappointed with the middle episodes because they're just kind of like Gintama plot lines adapted into, I guess, more Gintama. The strange thing about it is they're so self-referential, they can't really add new content. They kind of know that the only reason they're doing this is to kind of feed off the fans and be like, hey, look at this character from this like section of episodes. Look, they get an episode in this too. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not getting anything new. This is just masturbatory content that's just like working off the fact that I am a Gintama fan. I can't show this to a non-Gintama fan. The only people who could possibly enjoy this are people who are Gintama fans. And in that sense, it feels a little hollow. It feels shallow. Now, one of the things about Gintama proper, the main series, is that these comedy stretches end up into these serious arcs, right? And so Ginpachi Sensei also goes into this serious arc where we revisit the unadaptable character and we give him a serious arc. Now it gets even more meta because now the series is questioning itself in this strange question of, so we know that this Gintama show is just making this Ginpachi Sensei, and they quite literally say, this is a shameless cash grab to try and appeal to the Gintama viewers. And the serious character, his new plotline motivation is, I'm going to destroy this show because this show is a piece of garbage that shouldn't exist. Mad respect. He's like, this show that we're taking a part of is just the dead horse of the original Gintama, and we're just beating it to death for no reason. Our story is over. There's nothing left to do. Why are we still here? These are the meta questions being asked by the characters in the show that they need to resolve. And at this point, I'm like, oh my god, maybe this show is a little more Gintama than I thought it was after all. And I gotta be real, I didn't hate it. But if there is a season 2, I will have to go back in with the same bated breath and say I'm fearing for my life. Because they know that they're stretching it out, and they admitted to us, the audience, that this is just all for money. And I don't know if that makes them based or if it makes them just as cringe.
Bobby, I think it's impossible for you to legit hate anything that is associated with Gintama, unless you have something that I don't know about.
Listen. I can't tell you. This is just the strangest thing I've ever consumed that I can't say that I hated. Like, I don't know. I know exactly who this is for, and I'm shocked that, because the thing is that this type of thing, it's not the first of its class, right? There's like an anime called Hayate the Combat Butler, and there's this season called like Hayate the Combat Butler Cuties, where all it was 12 episodes featuring one of every waifu in the show because they gave up on adapting like the real manga. They just gave up on the manga.
Fuck?
Infamously, Soul Eater Not is also one of those shows.
Soul Eater Not, bro.
Yes, Soul Eater
that was such a fun time, though, bro. It was such a fun time because people were so mad. That's the best part. They're like, "What the fuck do you mean the show called Soul Eater Not is not Soul Eater, bro?" What do you mean?
No, shut the fuck up. You're targeting me. I was people.
Bro, that's it's in the fucking title, bro.
Bro, I was people. That's all I'm saying. I have no other comment. I just remember being like, what the fuck is this?
Listen, like there's so many series out there that end up beating the dead horse, and it's horrifying when the thing that you love is now on that chopping block, right? And so it's just crazy that the show decided to be meta about it, because there's almost a weird ethos that comes with the idea that the show calls itself a cash grab, you know? Because it's like okay, they know what they're doing, but at the same time, like, that doesn't absolve you from the fact that you're doing it. yeah.
It's like,
right?
It's really soften the blow that they're upfront about it. It's like, maybe.
Yeah, it's strange because they're just taking characters. Like, I know that there's nothing new that I can gain from this, right? That's the thing, is that it's almost like just straight up hedonistic to be consuming something like this, where like it's the purest like form of sugar, in that it's like, why am I watching this? I know that there's nothing here for me, right? Like, because the normal Gintama, it instills like this sense of like value, in that like the true core theme and message of, and as the sovereign of themes is very important to me, the core theme and messages of Gintama are things like, how do you adapt to the changing times? It's things like, how do you truly evaluate what will and always will stay important to you? What are the things that you can and cannot protect, right? Like, these are the types of things in Gintama that it questions, and those are things that you might have more enlightened answers to when you leave, right? Because I know that for me specifically, I have experienced that. And when I see this Ginpachi's Zany Class show, I can't get that. And I know I can't get that, because the story that was working on those themes has died. How long can they run this meta humor plot for? Genuinely, I don't know. Like, this is, at this point, this is a weird Ouroboros. We're done eating the real food. We're just eating ourselves at this point. And it's weird. It's interesting to see this, because you don't get to see this type of thing too often. But you know that it's not sustainable, and so it's like, how far are they going to take this? And that's the question that it poses. It's very strange. I just wanted to talk about it because it's fucking weird. I don't know how to feel about this exactly.
He's conflicted.
Okay,
It's over.
do you know other Gintama watchers that have watched this? I mean, I assume you have. I assume you do, right?
The answer is actually no.
Okay, cool.
Other
I was gonna ask
Gintama
that,
watchers
okay,
I
like-
know haven't finished. The other Gintama watchers that I personally know have not finished this because they're too scared of beating the dead horse.
I feel like you could.
Okay, well,
you can.
I was gonna ask you if you like it.
I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't know if this is a privilege or a gift or something, but I feel like you could always like gaslight yourself into pretending it doesn't exist, you know? Like if it ends up that bad, like you could just you're just like, yeah, that wasn't
People
a thing.
You could do that with
Psychopaths to anybody.
Psychopaths has 22 episodes in one movie. Psychopaths has 22 episodes in one movie.
Bobby
Dude.
has literally like Men in Black flashed himself into thinking that like Psychopaths.
What
is
do
just
you
one
mean,
scene.
psychopaths do? What do you mean?
People do it with everything though. Like
True.
they do it with like the medical TV show Scrubs. Like people in wrestling do it. Like Shawn Michaels' last match was like WrestleMania 26, except it actually wasn't. He did a match in Saudi Arabia that was horrendous for a cash grab. And it's just like it's just people do it in fucking everything. You just forget about the stuff that like you just want to forget.
It's like
about.
kind of like the monkey paw curls, though, right? Because it's like, how at what point are you so scared that you're, so a series that you care very deeply about, like, are you so scared that its legacy gets disturbed in some way that you just don't want them to make anything more, even if deep down you like would actually enjoy more content if it were available,
I think it's kind of funny when you're watching like when you reach like a TV show that people just go like they recommend you to watch it. It's like, yeah, but just stop here. There's like a whole bunch of like live action TV shows. They just tell you like Dexter is like it's extremely common in Dexter, which is 8 seasons plus 2 spinoffs, where they just say, yeah, you could just stop at the end of season 4. Like, and they just like that's like a common thing for people to say.
That's pretty funny.
Even though there's actually some good content after season 4, there's like, yeah, just accept season 4 as the ending, and it's fine.
It's like SpongeBob past like the movie content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like actually goated, like up to the movie, generational run, bro. One of the greatest cartoons ever made, easily. He's like
handful of good
Yeah, Game of
episodes
Thrones.
after that point,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
other than like those, it's just like just don't.
Ivan, the 4th season of Dexter is like the best one. Yeah, there you go, 4.
Because
Also,
It's like-
yeah, Game
so-
of Thrones.
so- go ahead, Bobby. Since this is your discussion, so go ahead.
there are like series and shows out there where it's like, and I'm a big fan, and I think it's because I was gonna say I'm a big fan of anime that get like ancillary sorts of pieces of media that like add on to, not necessarily add on, but recontextualize the main work, right?
Mhm.
And I think the beauty in things like the disappearance of Haruhi, like the Evangelion rebuild,
Mhm.
and like Madoka Magica Rebellion, right, is the fact that you can still just watch the original show and still get a great experience, right? Like you don't need these movies to enhance your vision, right? But at the same time, it's like the movies are recontextualizing. They're not rewriting, and they're not just kind of adding on stuff that shouldn't have been there. And I think that's probably the reason why those types of things are so successful. There might be a survivorship bias there. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily the right way to do it, or if that's just one of the only ways you can really do it. Because it's like, I feel like pieces of media are, once they're over, kind of have this level of sacredness or sanctity that's kind of now attached to, this is its own thing, and if you add more, it is no longer the same thing. The same thing even happened with just Naruto. There are so many people who glaze just pure Naruto, and they say, oh, Shippuden's not for me. Now we have an entirely new section of people that are like, yeah, Naruto Shippuden, it's fine, but Boruto not
sucks.
for me.
Yeah.
It's the
I've seen
Yu-Gi-Oh
that before.
effect all over
Yeah.
again. It's the Yu-Gi-Oh effect all over again. Every Yu-Gi-Oh series, there are people who are like, yeah, I liked Uphill GX. The rest is kind of whatever. When those white cards got introduced, not for me. And then there's the people who are
The
like,
white
5Ds is goated. The story and the plot and the characters in 5Ds, so sick. But once it hit Yuma and they aged the protagonist down, what a problem. And then it's the Zexal guys who are like, yeah, Zexal's so sick. It's the darkest Yu-Gi-Oh's ever been. It's so awesome. But then in Arc 5, it got weird. And then after Pendulums, I don't think there's any more defenders. But there's always somebody. There's always
It stops
someone.
there. Yeah, it's you know,
that's so funnily accurate.
they run into like this cultural divide exists in fighting games a lot. So like this type of conversation comes up a lot because like for example, there's a few games that are made by like the same company in some ways, and so like for example like Blaze Blue, right? Blaze Blue is a game that they haven't gotten a new fighting game in a long time. Obviously, Arxis's focus has been on Guilty Gear, and pushing Guilty Gear pretty hard. And so, like every single time this comes up, I always see people that are like, "Yeah, I wouldn't want them to make a new Blaze Blue because I feel like it would be strivified and it wouldn't be what I want." And the whole time I'm thinking like, isn't that just like really selfish? Like, isn't that just really selfish? like not everything is gonna be for you. If you play it and you don't like it, then you just continue to not play it and move on with your life. I just feel like it doesn't take away from you for there to be more things for other people. I don't know. This is kind of how I feel.
You know how many more people started playing Accent Core because of Strive?
True.
It's like,
And
so
Exurge
ironic.
for that matter. Yeah, those games got rolled back because of Strive. Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's odd, but what can you do?
I mean, there is a concern. Like, if we're using Blaze Blue as an example, like Blaze Blue is like kind of popping right now. Like, as much as it can be, like after it's like, you know, peak, like near its release. If there wasn't like a new Blaze Blue game, like it would like take away from like the people currently playing Central Fiction, but it will eventually like go back if people think that version is better, you know. But you know, that is a concern for like the immediate health of the game because it's doing pretty well right now, I would say.
I just feel like you just
In the
play
realm
what
of
you want.
yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
no
mean,
matter what, at any given time, you
moral
just
story.
play what you want, and like you know, it's like everyone's so melodramatic about it. I feel like it's like not. I feel like it's not that big of a deal, bro. Like if you play a game that comes out and you don't like it, then cool, bro. Like I don't know. I feel like life goes on. There's a lot of choices nowadays, you know. I don't
That's
know.
what Melee players did. That's
That's
did.
true.
It's like,
They did
yo,
do that.
this Brawl game,
They
fuck
did
that.
that too. Yeah.
and then they just kept Melee alive, and it is
That's-
still alive to this fucking day.
Yeah, it is
10 million
25 years later.
Yep.
It do be like that
2001.
sometimes. No one stops you but yourself, I feel like. I don't know.
There are pro Melee players younger than Melee, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Many, actually. Yeah.
Many, yeah. I mean, like
Yeah,
people
bro.
are 25 and younger. Like, that's,
Melee's
like,
all
a lot
like
of people.
our age. Like it's like almost our age. It's like it's almost older than most of us, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just a few years off.
Yeah, like we're really not
Don't
that
act like
like
we're that much,
we're not
like-
that much older than Melee, bro. It's like it'd be like that. But okay, is that all you had to say about Zany Class, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's weird to have a show that is based on a show only made for fans of that show, but is also such a horrifying and threatening presence to the fans of that show. Like it's a weird place to be for series like this. I will say at the end of the day, and it could just be my bias, I don't think that this was the worst iteration of it, and at least they know what they're doing and not lying to us. At least they're giving us exactly what they tell us they are. It is a cash
Bobby,
grab.
Isn't it kind of funny they're
Bobby
baiting
has
you?
faith in anyone.
Isn't it kind of funny they're baiting you? They're just like, yo, you'll watch it.
I know that they knew that I would watch it, but the thing about it that's strange is that this isn't just new Gintama. The Gintama fans aren't going to inherently come back to watch this. It's just strange that these types of things exist and are basically set up for their own failure, because it's like only for Gintama fans, but the presence of anything like this existing after the end of Gintama is also threatening Gintama fans. So it's like, what? It's just crazy that stuff like this can exist. And most of the time, in most examples of other things like this, they're bad. But you know, this Gintama one, I guess they're just showing that Gotama can't die after all. It was okay. it was not a 9 out of whatever. It's not gonna make the Annie list like top 100. It's probably not gonna make the My Anime list top 100. But at least it wasn't a horrific train wreck.
Could always be worse.
Yeah, this is a lesson to any series trying to do something like it. You should probably put in a similar amount of effort or more. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, like it's just why are you doing this? I know I can't get anything from it. I'm not upset that it exists, but like come on, do something better with your time. I'm okay with Gintama being dead, guys. It's okay.
How dare you?
I enjoyed hearing your experience with this show.
True.
It's like I had no idea what your opinion on
It's
it
pretty
was
funny.
or what you were gonna talk about, but this is like a good route, I think.
There's some
It's
people
weird,
that aren't
man.
even gonna know that this
Oh,
shit existed before you brought it up, bro.
I didn't know this shit existed before he said what it was.
It's weird.
I mean, I
and that's it.
All right. Okay, back to the table. All right, who's next?
All right, it's between us three.
Three left.
Dylan, Khalil, myself.
How you feeling,
who we
Dylan?
got?
I can go.
All right.
Okay.
I
Oh yeah, he did.
tell us. Bro, PA works, bro.
PA works, bro.
PA work, ball knowers, bro.
EA Works has a around this time they kind of had this thing for kind of, I guess, depicting the working life. They had already done Shirobako a couple years ago before, but with Aquatope, it's about a show about a former idol who kind of quits the industry and is kind of lost in her life. So she kind of runs away to Okinawa and discovers this aquarium, and she kind of just decides to start working there and kind of really loves the atmosphere and the vibes it brings off. So and she finds like a new vibe or a new career path to go down, and it's a show about kind of two people trying to navigate their lives and trying to navigate their careers. One, they're both working at this aquarium. One's kind of had been intending to go down this route this entire time, and another one had been kind of lost on her way, and had just how do I put this? It's a
You're talking about Fuka or like Kuka?
yeah, I'm talking about Fuka, because Fuka was the one that was lost, kind of,
Yeah.
like
it was kind of like a burnout as well. Like she
Yeah.
didn't know if like the idol work was like really what she wanted to do, and she just kind of like impulsively ran away from it and ended up at the aquarium where she now works during the show.
it's just, I don't know how to really describe it in succinctly. I guess it's really about like working in the industry and working towards your dreams, and kind of facing the harsher realities of working towards your dreams. That like I feel like a lot of anime kind of don't really explore, to me at least. So the first half of the show is like very whimsical, very dreamlike, almost like there's like a supernatural aspect to it, right? It's kind of like it's like a honeymoon phase in a way. And you're discovering things you like, things you want to do with your life. And it's really nice and chill, I would say. And it leads to a second half where it's like, well, now you're actually working in the industry and reality is set in. And it just feels like this is a working class person's type of anime in a way that I really enjoyed about it. So like transitioning from like the first half to the second half, it's much more realistic. They kind of almost completely drop almost all the supernatural aspects of the anime, and now it's very cutthroat, competitive, and stressful, I would say at times. And so I feel like it's a really underrated show, just kind of exploring two people's journeys, kind of how they started and where they ended at within this industry.
Really cool that they like like you said in the beginning, that it's whimsical, which I feel like if you tell people that's about two like 18 to 20 something year old girls working at an aquarium, they probably would like be like, oh yeah, it sounds like shenanigans. Like that just kind of, I feel like that's like a typical thing that I would expect. And the idea that like it becomes like cutthroat and like them treating it like a real like thing that they're like pursuing is like pretty like cool. It's like, oh wait, they like mess with expectations like quite a bit there. Because I definitely thought coming in that it was just gonna be like a little bit like two girls and they're like shenanigans at the aquarium type of thing, which was fun while it was that. And also the show mad pretty as well.
Yeah.
So, do look, make things look good. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the first half, what I really appreciate is just kind of like the stark difference between the two halves. Like the first half, like it is almost like these two are working at an aquarium, but it's like goofing off in a way. Like it's not really working. One of the characters is like the daughter of the owner, so technically she's a nepo hire, and it's kind of goofing off. And the other one is she's working as like a, I believe, what was it? A dolphin trainer? No, not dolphin trainer. Penguin trainer.
Just a helper, like really, just
just the helper,
doing like handiwork, just like feeding animals, like making sure that
literally like an
is,
assistant
working and such. Yeah.
Yeah, but not like a really solidly defined position.
Mhm.
And it, like the way it just like transitions to the second half where they, now they have a set path and they have to grind through that path. Just kind of really spoke to me in a way.
Yeah,
people that this was not popular.
Really, really interesting thing about this show is how relatable it will be to a lot of people that actually do watch it. Especially the aspects of like, so when I watched this show, this really reminded me of like someone that creates an idea or like a new business or something like that, and they spend a whole lot of time like putting a whole lot of love and passion and care into something to cultivate it, to make it grow, and then let's say they get like bought out, right? Like they like sell the business to like a bigger entity or something, and then like the corporate side takes over, so now it's more about doing paperwork instead of like I feel like there's a lot of people that have had some experience that's tangential to that, where you care a lot about something, and it feels like these other processes or these other entities like kind of take away from you expressing that passion in the same way. And it's very sad to see. Like it's sad to see how that can kind of like make people lose their passions in some way, if it gets kind of muddled with all of that. But I definitely, that was the thing that like stuck out to me the most whenever I watched the show. I was like, man, this is it's like I know how this feels in some way.
I love the show because I love the show because like it kind of says that like it doesn't like have to be that way, because like I think the biggest strength of the show is like how it handles its like two distinct cores. Obviously, we said that the first one is like very whimsical, very like childlike, and the second half is like very like pragmatic, very cynical, very corporate, and it's a very realistic progression of one's passion as like they transition from like literally like childhood to adulthood, where they have to consider more things, and it's not just like what you want, but like how you have to like go about like achieving this in a more like realistic manner. But it's not like the second core like discards like the value of like the first core, because like the two main characters like Fuka and like Kukuru, they like enter like a more like serious like aquarium business once like the original aquarium shuts down and like their staff gets moved to a more successful aquarium. And they have to like engage with like the corporate side of things, like you said, paperwork, doing things like more like just like computer work and such. Like Kukuru, who wants to like work with the animals, like literally has to like be in an office, and she fucking hates that for like the first part of like her job. But it's not like they like lose that original passion. I think a lot of people who are in a similar scenario like would kind of lose that original passion for just this place that is very important to them, what it means to them, like just like the vibes and like the self-reflection that like they had in their original aquarium environment. they make an effort not to lose that. And to me, I think that's like very special and important, because people like do lose sight of that, where it's just things just become about money and your livelihood, and like that's just like the end all be all of anything that you do. Like once you like get past the age of like 24-ish. This show like while it does like move toward like the corporate side of things, it still remains optimistic that like you can make something good out of like these situations that you find yourself in when you're an adult. I feel like that's very appealing to like people in like our age demographic. I would definitely like recommend like the show to like, you know, people in like their mid or like early-ish 20s, like maybe
I
like
think we
20,
just started
30,
working.
20. Yeah,
I
if you
think
just
we
started
just started
working, I think
working.
this show will like
people
speak
want
to
to work
you.
for.
Don't ever get a job. Don't listen to their lies. If you're listening to this, bro, don't get a job. Don't get
Bro.
don't, hey,
you need to work.
no, the fuck you don't. You need money. You don't need a job.
No, you
Fuck
don't.
that.
Yeah, that's not true at all. You can get people to fucking support you.
Just be prepared to compromise.
I
It's
think,
a trap,
one of the
chat.
more
It's a
underrated-
trap. It's tax season,
I feel
bro.
like
It's a
one-
trap. It's a.
Yeah, one of the more underrated aspects too, I think, is like the side characters. I feel like these are all people who, like, despite not being the main focus of the show, also have their own ambitions and dreams that they're working towards. Particularly, I remember there was this one antagonistic character. She's not a villain, but she's bitchy in a sense. But like, you come to find out she's like a single mom trying to provide for her child, and it's like, oh, that's really real. And I don't know. Oh, it always just kind of stuck with me.
That is so real. When you're working a job and that you feel unsatisfied in it, and then you realize your coworker is doing the same job you're doing, probably making around the same money you're doing, and they're supporting your family without it, you're like, oh shit, that's a feeling to have.
Yeah, I mean, perspective is everything for sure, and I think this show does a good job of like showing how like in the same workplace there could still be such vastly differing experiences and perspectives, even though you're technically all working towards a quote unquote common goal. People do it for different reasons. They do it with different goals in mind. They do it with different ambitions. Some people want to, you know, move up the corporate ladder. Some people just do it as a means to an end. And I think that's an important part of anyone's experience whenever you decide to go into the work field, for sure.
This show's great. I also think it was like kind of like the start of like a very like hot streak for PA Works as a studio. Because like before this show, I would say like I would actually I wouldn't say I would agree with that guy who made the tier list, but like I would call PA Works before that
bro,
a very okay
don't
studio
fucking
that...
validate this shit, bro.
I'm not validating. I'm just saying like
They just Shirobako and
They did
Iwakuchi before that.
And
yes,
they did
but like,
manga. I would say that-
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's saying it was more reasonable.
You are only looking at like a handful of shows in their catalog before.
Are you telling me you're not like another?
I totally
That is true.
stand by what Jeffrey is saying. I stand by Jeffrey in the statement. They were very inconsistent. They were either
No, they
making-
were.
This is
For
Jun
sure.
Maeda's fault. This is strictly Jun Maeda's fault.
In fact,
They-
I remember
making
I remember us
flop
distinctly
or
talking
totally-
about how inconsistent they were whenever when Irazuku came out, because we all watched Charlotte too. I'm pretty sure. And then there was
I'm not thinking of-
yeah,
I'm not thinking of- I've
and then
never
like
seen
even
that
a
in my
few
life.
years later, fucking the Daya became a god. I think it's called.
Jun Maeda.
Yeah, Jun Maeda, bro. He will pay for his
Honestly-
transgressions. He's a
Honestly, the true deep cut is that like even without Jun Maeda, they were making random bullshit like glass slip about glass making, and it was honestly it sounds kind of cool, except it's boring. So I don't. They were making either dog shit or gas, and there was like not much.
yeah. That was before I really got into it. So yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make, is that like they had a few bangers in a catalog full of either like mid or like
Bro, Fairy Gone was so bad.
you know?
Did any of you watch A Lull in the Sea?
Yeah, I
Lull in
did.
the Sea.
That
That show was like very like in the like okay. It was like very
That show was like trying to be. I haven't really watched this, but this is the vibe I get. That show was like the melodrama of like a Latino like soap opera.
I think
That's what's
I
up.
think that like okay, I think let's say like starting in like Charlotte, like everything before Charlotte PA Works, I think they did not have a huge catalog and it had like probably 2 or 3 solid shows, I think. Which is maybe enough.
Yeah.
But it's not. But I'm saying that like that's not enough to make like a godlike studio,
Yeah.
bro.
No,
it's
of
just
course
like
not.
you get at that point if they only have like 2 good things out of like a catalog of like I don't know like 20 or 30, then you could say that like, oh, those were just like lucky
It had
hits,
less than
you know?
30.
I mean, I don't.
I'm just saying just like to put things into perspective. Like you're hating on me because I called PA Works before 2020 like an okay studio that had like a handful of good things to offer. And I think that's reasonable. But I'm saying that after this point, after they made Aquatope, it was just like banger after banger after banger. Like
We
the
could start
next year
in
they put out,
2020.
Mm,
Shirobako or 2018 rather.
Oh, I was like
when
that
Shirobako
wasn't
what?
until
Shirobako was 2014.
2014. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm
Charlotte
fucking
was
dumb.
after
Okay, fine.
Shirobako, so
You are dumb.
yeah,
you are
can't.
dumb.
You can't.
2018 had Makia and the Colors show.
Yeah.
Then 2020 had the Day I Became God, which I don't think anyone liked that. Bobby, did you enjoy
It
that?
was not
Probably
good.
That was not. It was not good.
It just straight up
it,
wasn't good.
It was. It was okay. It was okay.
It was okay until the
and then
melodrama
it
at the
ended,
end, bro.
And then it ended.
Bro. Like,
Look,
why did they
whatever.
do that?
Point is,
It was so
they're pretty
fun
good.
before that, bro.
Okay. Point is, they're a cool studio now.
True.
Yes, that's what I.
True.
That's the point that I've been trying to make. And then you keep saying like, "Oh no, they've always been godlike." I'm like, not
No,
true.
I didn't say godlike. I've never said godlike before then. I said they're godlike now.
When I said that they were okay before a certain point, you were like, "No, that's not right."
I would say that the ratio before was 3 to 7, but the 3 of 10 were great. Like God,
Yeah. Like
nowadays
really good.
it's more like they're hitting a 6-4, but the good shows are great. They're not godlike, they're great now, but they're about,
Yeah. I mean, even
6 to 4 good to bad mid shows.
even like current day, I wouldn't put PA Works in like the godlike category. They're really good though. They're definitely a really good studio.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in the top.
They're a studio that I will like watch like pretty much like 99% of.
Yeah, for sure.
Just on good
try.
faith,
Just-
you know.
Yeah, just the try.
They haven't disappointed me in a long
Sometimes-
time. Well,
Yeah.
if we don't count the fucking robot show. I forget what that shit was called. I forget.
We don't need to mention that shit. But, like,
It's like I don't remember what that shit was even called, bro.
Don't even worry about it.
betting on a PA work show being good is like less of a lottery than it used to be.
For sure.
So
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, good show, and it's 2 course, so you know you got episodes.
Yeah, you got a lot of content.
Got episodes.
Yeah.
This
Would
came
highly
out during
recommend-
the middle. This was particularly comforting during like the middle of the pandemic. to be
Yeah,
honest.
for sure.
Yeah.
I actually remember, like, I specifically remember watching this show during pandemic. I have fond memories of this for sure. It's like,
You guys think
very,
like
very uplifting show in a time when we needed it.
yeah, for 100%. What were you saying, Miguel?
I just like I like that when I look at a show or a movie that's like not popular, I like to like try to think about like why. Like there's some stuff that's like maybe just doesn't have like wide appeal.
Yeah,
like, kinda
I
like
mean,
what it
it's kind of natural, right? Like some things will just be more popular than others, and
Yeah, of course, but
you know, they are not punching each other in the face, so like it's only gonna be so
there's
popular.
other popular stuff that has minimal punching.
Yeah, but it's like you got to understand the proportions though. Like how many things realistically make it through the barrier, right? Like the barrier you're talking about, where it's like so popular that everyone has heard about it.
Okay.
That does not happen often.
Okay, I'm gonna
And when it does happen, hold on. When it does happen, even people get confused and they try to turn it into a show that's supposed to be about punching each other in the face, even though it's not. So like, because like Vinland
so I'm
was
gonna
like
go
that,
older.
and Free Ren was also like that.
So like this is an old show that we've all seen, which is why I'm bringing it up. Like Hyoka was like
Mhm.
I would call Hyoka like something that a lot of people have seen, I think. And that's like not like a punching. And I was like what made Hyoka get like I would say like fairly popular? Like I think that I feel like Hyoka had like a lot of people that watched it that I think is like, oh, how did this break through?
It was one
It's
of the
very
most
pretty.
like, visually ambitious shows that didn't involve punching people.
Yes, and like you got to keep in mind the time as well. Like it came out in 2012, and so like especially back
2012,
then,
yeah.
there were not that many shows that looked anywhere near the way Hyoka does. Like not even remotely close. So I think like that spectacle in a way helps for sure.
Yeah, that was really around like the boom of like the new wave of anime watchers, because like that was around like Sword Art
SAO.
Online and Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
When
Mhm.
people were really getting into anime, and so it just came out at like a good time, you know.
Yeah.
SAO is like part of SAO's appeal. I know it's like easy, but it's that it looks super pretty. So it's like
True.
it's set like a
True.
bar for like, all right, because people have like high
No,
standards.
anime
like, what they
changed
do right now.
when SAO and AOT came out, 100%, bro.
For sure. Yeah.
And then Hyoko was like, we can make things look good and have them be action based, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a 22. It's like a 2-core like school club detective little thing. I just don't think that was like a thing that I would expect to get wide appeal.
I will say that like despite the it's so tropey nowadays to have the scene of like the sky reflecting on the water where it's just
Mhm.
blue ceiling, like blue sky, blue floor. But that first Hyoka opening, when it was doing it, it was still cool.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It was not
sir.
beaten into the ground yet, bro. It's important. That's what I
Yeah,
mean by like the
Tokyo
time
Cool
matters
Game,
for sure. Like 100%.
Yeah, I guess it's about.
All right, cool. All right, back to the table. Are we done with Aquatope?
Yeah, Dylan, you have anything else to say?
Puka is really cool. I really resonated with her.
True.
They're both cool, bro. They're what makes the
True.
show function.
I think
you know?
particularly for people who like find like, you know, like sometimes you get into like your dream job or like your dream field, right? And like it just doesn't work out.
Mhm.
That's the way it goes sometimes, and I just kind of really resonated with that.
Found like a new passion
Yep.
that she never knew that she had.
Dylan discovered he likes medicine, but he doesn't want to deal with fucking people, man. It's just like,
It'd be like that, bro. Yeah, you get to hit the reset button as many
People
times as
think
you
they
want, unless you're dead, and then
That's
you don't.
workplace anime, bro.
He's like,
Workplace
you're
anime.
dead.
unless you're dead, bro. If as long as you're not dead, you can keep starting over, bro. That's what I believe. It's like,
All right, Khalil. Are we rock paper scissoring, or are we gonna just?
We're doing what?
Rock paper. Are we? You want to go
you
first, or
gonna
do you want me to go?
You guys
you can go. I'll end. It's fine.
Okay, all right. So we'll do mine. All right, here we go. Jeffrey's talking about Review Starlight again. in
Here
the
we
year
go.
2026. The least surprising thing of the year.
Incredible.
Let's go.
Really, this
Anime-
podcast
an every
is
software's classic.
wanted to talk about Review Starlight.
True. I mean, can you blame me, bro? Can you blame me?
I thought you were gonna
Alright, here
choose
we go.
Evergarden because you went to the thingy, right? The orchestra.
Yeah, but like, I wanted to talk about this because it's topical somehow in the year 2026.
Yeah, true.
All right, so Revue Starlight is a show about musical theater, heavily inspired by the culture of the real-life all-female theater troupe called the Takarazuka Revue. It's produced by Kinema Citrus, who has brought you other shows of immense quality, such as Made Abyss and My Happy Marriage. Directed by Tomohiro Furukawa, who, before directing Revue Starlight, was an up-and-coming creator who worked under the guidance of the renowned Kunihiko Ikuhara, who was one of the main creative leaders behind the Sailor Moon franchise, as well as the director of Revolutionary Girl Utena, which Revue Starlight also takes inspiration from. The series is 12 episodes long, plus a movie. It originally aired in summer 2018, and it's an anime original project, with the caveat that it was the starting point of a larger multimedia franchise that has since branched out into several manga, live stage productions, and a handful of video games. And also, as about a month ago, a new anime project for the franchise has been announced, and it will be produced by Kinema Citrus. And this is the main reason why I wanted to talk about this show today, because the prospect of a new anime project is bound to get at least some people curious about the series who've never seen it before. So yeah, I wanted to talk about it. First off, I wanted to briefly say like what Revue Starlight is to me, so people who like don't know what it is or haven't seen it can get an idea of what the true quality of the show is. I firmly believe Revue Starlight to be one of, if not the most spectacular experience that anime has to offer. It really pushes the limits of what's possible within the anime medium to externalize the ideas of personal growth and the pursuit of the best version of oneself through things like clever storyboarding, expressive character acting, and of course the centerpieces of the show, the imaginative stage performances that tie everything together through stellar visuals and audio. It is without a doubt in my mind one of the most artistically and thematically dense shows I've had the privilege of experiencing. And I would like as many people as I could convince to experience the show as well. However, in order to do that, we have to discuss one of the most, let's say, awkward barriers to entry that I've seen in like any show. This leads us into like the main topic that I wanted to talk about, which is the importance of well-written translations and well-executed subtitles. And I'm choosing to talk about this because this is by far like the most important thing to consider if you're planning on watching the show for the first time, because your personal experience with the show will vary significantly depending on which translation you choose to watch. This topic of like translations and subtitles has become more relevant in recent years because some newer shows have had pretty bizarre licensing and distribution circumstances that have had a pretty significant effect on the viewing experience. Some of you remember like Girls Band Cry, which is like, you know, great music show that had no licensing whatsoever when it was airing. So people like us who were trying to like watch it weekly had to like depend on fan subgroups who were working their asses off to get episodes translated because, and I can't stress this enough, there was no legal method of streaming this show.
It's so crazy. Like it's so crazy that like that could happen.
It's crazy that it still happens, bro.
I mean, like it's not common, but the fact that it can happen is just like it's so like, bro, bizarre. What the fuck?
Okay.
Oh, it's like we forgot. Sorry.
Whoops. Oopsies.
My bad. Yeah. The funniest part about like that show, Girls Band Cry, is that like when it eventually came to streaming platforms, like months after the show had already finished, the official subtitles were criticized for like not being as good as some of the more effortful fan subs, which to me is just like irony. I'm just like, bro, like how do you like fumble like not getting subs for your show and then you actually get subs for your show and then they're worse than what people have already watched? Like, how does that even happen? Another show with a similar discussion, or like just like discussion around like translations and subs, is actually airing right now, and that is Medalist. And the situation with that show is that it's streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu with only dub titles available, which for those who don't know, like are just like subtitles that just recite the English dub script for the show. Incredibly lazy on the part of like the licensors.
Hate that shit,
like,
bro.
Yeah, it's lazy because like while the English dub is like a serviceable experience, it is clearly at times not a faithful translation of the original Japanese script. And this is coming from me. I don't speak a word of Japanese. I can like understand like individual words, but like, you know, grammatically, I'm just like so like illiterate. And I can still tell that like what they're saying is just like incorrect sometimes if you're watching the dub titles. And even in this like currently airing like second season, there's still no official option for like more faithfully translated subtitles. And viewers either need to swallow the pill that is dub titles or turn to fan subgroups who are putting in more effort than the official translators.
Shout out the fan subbers. Let's go. Let's go fan subbers.
Let's go piracy. Let's go.
Sobs, please, my goats.
Sobs, please. Anyways, this is all to say that there have been more and more instances where viewers have expressed dissatisfaction with the quality of some translations because they feel like their experience is like being watered down in some way. And that brings us back to Review Starlight, which has had a very turbulent translation history, where like its official translation and I'm going to be honest, even most of the fan subs have had very noticeable problems. But they all boil down to like this show just being impossibly difficult to translate in a way that's like faithful to the ethos of the show, while also being presentable to the viewer. So the first of these problems, like first and foremost, is like the original script for the show is very wordy, but not wordy in the way where it's like superfluous, because like every word like is important and like carries meaning, which is to be expected of a show about musical theater that has like a lot of dramatic and flowery language. So with like such a wordy script, translators need to find ways to make each line concise and readable without compromising the meaning of the lines too much, which obviously is a task much easier said than done. I've noticed that in like most translations for the show, the lines aren't shortened that much at all, and so the subtitles like end up taking like 2 full lines on the screen, and this is enough to like lose a bunch of people because like there's just like too much to read at any given time. But also, the subtitles sometimes take up so much of the screen real estate that they physically get in the way of important visual moments that are happening on the screen. And I'm like, that is like just like so like bad for the viewing experience. And this is all without even considering that like Review Starlight has an abundance of performance sequences with lyrics sung by the characters, which adds another layer of challenge for the translators to fit these lyrics somewhere on the screen while the characters are simultaneously having a conversation with each other. It just ends up to like, you know, at some point where certain translations just become subtitle salads. And I wouldn't blame viewers for like not being able to like follow the show with like that much going on and like that much reading required.
I think really quick on the performance sequences in Review.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of performance sequences with a lot of like singing and like it's an action sequence, like whatever. You can dead ass rewatch every performance sequence like 3 times and focus on a different thing every time just to get like the full thing if you really want to, because you can do one experience just kind of reading the lyrics, because you know like reading the lyrics of the song, focusing on the conversation they're doing, or just like paying attention to like the visual aspect of it alone. So like there's so much like actual shit going on the screen in a good way where it's like a tough task, but it definitely is rough, because we watched the Review movie in theaters like separately. Like we watched it on our own with fan subbers and we watched it in theaters, and it's like, oh, this is like, so having watched the fan subbers initially and then watching the performance in theaters, like, wait, this is like definitely not the same. And there's a lot of flowery language too, which also is pretty tough for like translating and making it sound decent to read in English, which is relevant. Like it's a tough task, it seems like. So you got people who love it enough to do it well. Yeah, it's just there's just so much on the screen, like because like you have like the fight, not fight, but you know, the battle sequence, whatever, the performance sequence, and the performance sequence, and like reading like the dialogue of the song, and then the dialogue between the players. God, what is wrong with me? I'm so
fucking TCG brain, bro.
Card games, hey, man, dude. The game is the game.
Bro, I can't. I play too much One Piece. I call everything like as if it's a card, like a cardboard now.
This is a new level of brain rot, bro.
Bro, I've been ruined, dude.
I don't know what he's talking about, bro. I'm fine.
It's me. I'm not blaming you. It's me. You did it to me, though. It's your fault.
Oh, nah.
You have to take responsibility, Bobby.
Point is, there's a lot of shit on the screen when you watch the show in a good way, and you can like rewatch the performance sequences and focus on different stuff to like kind of get a different experience. And there's lots to look at.
Yeah.
So some of the fan subbers, they color code stuff, which is also super great.
Yeah.
Like the sub stuff.
Yeah. The point is, there being like a lot to like digest is like not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's what makes the show like fucking amazing. But it does like fall on like the people who are like translating and like making the subtitles to make it readable. Because like there are things that you can do to just like not make it so that it's just word salad on the screen at any given time. Most like the official translation and like some fan subs like don't put in that effort. It's just like all on the screen at once. It's just like fucking like visual diarrhea. I'm like, this is insane. So the next problem with like most translations is that there are several instances where like the characters are misrepresented by their translated dialogue. And let me reiterate, I don't speak Japanese. I don't understand Japanese. So like my
Taurus.
I'm just saying, I cannot hold a conversation in Japanese. I might be able to like pick out a few words here and there, and I will like understand like what they're trying to say to me. But like, no, I can't do it. Like I'm not a translator. So like my assessment on like the quality of like any given translation is not in regard to like how literally accurate it is, but rather like how it like paints the characters who I already understand very intimately through their dialogue. So, and I can say this because like Revue Starlight does an incredible job at exploring its characters through avenues that are not dialogue. So like the things like I said before, like shot composition, character acting, and the performances, like they all do a great job at like conveying so much about each character to where you can understand like who they are as people and like what they value without needing to like read or hear their dialogue. That being said, dialogue is still like an important component to what makes up these characters. But you know, the point is that I know these characters, I know what they're about, and I can pinpoint parts of some translations that don't line up with the image I have of the characters in my head. It's to the point where like the connotation of some specific lines in the script are just like completely different from translation to translation, which is not the fault of like any single translation group. There's just like so many ways that you can interpret like each individual line, and like the implications that they have on the characters is just like so immense because like these characters are like fundamentally written to be nuanced. So yeah, there's that. The last problem with most translations, and this is just like esoteric on my part, but like they don't have what I call like the punch. Like the structure and execution of some of these lines that are supposed to like hit hard in most translations just like fall short most of the time. Like Revue Starlight is a series about brutal competition between girls who are at a very pivotal point in their lives. Like they all feel a lot of complex emotions, but through it all, like they're fucking angsty. Like they want to put everything on the line to like prove themselves in an environment that's ruthless and cutthroat. And it's the translators have the responsibility of like conveying the weight of these impactful moments, you know, as they build on each other before they like reach like this explosive climax. But the reality is that most translations just miss the mark. And like Miguel mentioned earlier that like we all like some of us went to go see like this movie in theaters after we had already like watched a specific fan translation of it. And I could tell you that like while I enjoyed the cinematic experience of like, you know, just being in the theater watching this movie, I was literally shaking my head at some of the translated lines. Like there was a point where like it did become like word salad. I'm like, I have no idea what this character said to this character like at all. It was like just too much to like digest, and like I'm like, surely like I know there's a way you can make this like more concise and more punchy because I've seen a better translation of the show or of the movie. Like they botched some of those lines so badly, and this may all sound like a bad thing, but I'm here to tell you that this is all to say that there are extremely good translations for the show that are out there, but admittedly, it takes a lot of effort to find them. But fortunately, for all of you who have not watched the show, listening in, or people part of the call, I I've gone through the effort of watching most of these translations so that you don't have to.
One-title Jesus over here.
Yes, bro. Yes, I've watched through several translations, like beginning to end. I've like sampled a whole bunch more just to like pick out certain lines that typically like get not mistranslated, but like have like questionable like interpretations. And I've picked out the best translation that I believe provides the most ideal viewing experience for Review Starlight. And I would like to publicly endorse those translations right now, because I'm not going to just like ambiguously say like, oh, you should like look at like the cat site and like just pick out a translation. If you do that, you're going to pick a fucking wrong translation. That's just the reality. So this is the first time I've ever like endorsed like a fan translation, but like for the TV series, there is a subgroup called Chiyupas. That's CHYUU-PAS. That's for the TV series, and for the movie, I recommend Veggie Sub. It's exactly like how it sounds, like veggie as in like vegetable, and then
vegetable sub. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, vegetable.
I'm
sub.
hungry, bro. This is like
Yeah, I'm hungry for some veggies, bro. I need my nutrition. And you can look both of those up on let's just like be honest here. Both of these groups have done a great job at meeting all my requirements for the best watching experience, and I can say with confidence that you won't be disappointed in their work. The translators clearly saw something special in this series and took it upon themselves to give the translation and the presentation of the show the effort it deserves. The reason I feel so comfortably like endorsing like a fan translation for this show is because I recently learned that the only legal method of like watching the TV series has changed drastically since I last checked. So like
Not high bet.
no, it's not.
Nope.
This is
So, like,
insane.
Yeah. So like I only found this out like a couple weeks ago. I knew that Review Starlight was originally on High Dive, and you can actually still watch the movie there as because it's still there for the time being. But the TV
Are they
series is
separate?
not. It's stupid. Licensing is a fucking like fucked up like profession. So like Review Starlight, the TV series, was taken off of High Dive last year, around like spring last year, I believe. And I knew about this, but I have since like forgotten because it's been so long. Plus, I don't watch the official translation anyways. Whenever I revisit this show, I recently learned that the only legal way that you can watch Review Starlight is through a digital library service called Hoopla. Yes, Hoopla, as in like that thing from SpongeBob. Like the hoopla. And this is ridiculous because while I don't think you have to like pay money for this necessarily, but like you have to like put in a bunch of like personal information in order to get a physical or digital library card in order to get access to like the media that's on their platform. For like the physical library card, you have to like actually have like a library like near you that you can actually like go and visit. And for like the digital like e-card, you have to give copious amounts of personal information, including where you live. I'm like, this is insane.
that's what's up.
Nobody is going to want to do this for like one show. And like me and Dylan were like checking out like their like anime catalog. They have like 200 something shows available like on Hoopla, and we could not find one other show or movie that wasn't on another platform, like more accessible platform, like Crunchyroll, like
That's actually ridiculous.
or High Dive, or like Netflix, or Hulu, or Disney Plus. Like it's literally just like Review Starlight is one of the only shows that is like locked behind this one stupid digital library platform. The only way you can legally stream it. I'm not recommending that shit, bro. I'm not recommending that you like give out personal information just so that you can like watch this. Like one of my favorite pieces of media. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you to watch a better translation of the show that you can get for free. Like, it's nobody else besides me has to like deal with their favorite shows being locked behind like stupid conditions. Like every other show that anybody would like love to like the extent that I love this show is this like inaccessible. like I would challenge most people to like find like a show that is like more inaccessible, that is of this quality.
Mine is almost close. Almost.
What?
Monster
Utena?
used to be nowhere.
You can find
Until
it. You, for some reason, you can find it on YouTube, but it is only in 480p.
Bro, that's the intended viewing experience, bro. That shit was like the crusty, dusty like resolution. Like that's how people watched it back in the fucking 80s.
Well, the Monogatari series watch order is still a meme, so
It do be like that. It's-
but at least 80% of it is on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Every
Meanwhile,
once in a
like,
while, Bobby would get tagged in Discord saying, "Bobby, can you send the Monogatari series watch order to like from like random people?"
And then I'd have to explain, so there's this way, and then there's also this way, and then there's also, well, this one doesn't matter, but you can watch it wherever. There's 3 different
Zach gets it.
spots where you
We
can
used to watch Naruto on 1/4 of the screen on YouTube.
Oh hell no.
You never did
there are
that?
still people.
No,
do,
bro.
Do you
no
think
way
that
you
there's
do
still
that.
people
I
who
told-
do that?
bro.
Like,
No, of course not. What the fuck? No,
Bro,
no. I watched
you weren't down bad.
Naruto. I watched Naruto on part of it was Dub Happy. You ever hear Dub Happy? Yeah, well, part of
sounds
it
big.
part of it was Dub Happy, and the other part was I think the other part was on CR. I was not in the trenches on the YouTube watching
I
3-part
definitely
anime.
was on
I was
YouTube,
not.
And I
was
had to watch 3-part movies where you had to watch a quarter of the screen. So I was zoomed in on the quarter of the screen.
Zoomed in. You can do that?
you could do that.
I had to.
What the hell? I just full screen that shit and then just like stare really close to my
But
computer.
that wasn't big enough.
Yeah, I watched shows
Good
here
for
and
you,
there,
bro.
but I didn't really get into anime until I met you guys, bro. It wasn't until college.
All right.
I was in a few of those trenches.
You weren't in the
I'll
trenches.
admit.
I watched some stuff on like Toonami and stuff. Like I watched Fully Cooley like
Yeah.
so early into my into my anime watching
Then
thing.
Toonami got taken down.
Yeah.
I remember when he told us he was late. Fuck.
Tough out here.
Sorry, Jeffrey. Sorry, Jeffrey.
No, it's okay. Like, anyways, just to say them again, like Chiyu Pass for the TV series, Veggie Sub for the movie. Please go check those out. Yeah, now that we've like talked about like how to have like the most like ideal viewing experience with Review Starlight, I did want to talk a little bit about like what makes the show like so spectacular in my eyes.
Wait, it's good? It's not just hard to watch?
Wait,
It's dog shit.
I'm not telling you how to like.
It's hard to
how
watch
jump
and
through,
it's
like, 10
bad. Go
hoops.
figure.
I'm not telling you how to jump through like 10 hoops, how to like watch a show that's like not good, bro.
That would be a sick prank. I can't lie.
Bro, that would be
That'd be an amazing prank.
I thought this was like those
I found the hardest
impractical
show to
desk
watch.
combos on YouTube. I thought it was like a desk combo, just impractical.
I see.
Anyways, so the topic I want to focus on here is that Review Starlight is, in my opinion, like the most has like the most like efficient and effective methods of exploring its characters of any show that I've seen. I believe this to be like the most like defining strength of it as a piece of media, and in a way, it was done out of necessity for the show to like be successful, because this show has 9 main characters and 12 standard length episodes of anime to completely flesh them out while also telling an ambitious narrative around the characters, which does not leave a lot of leeway, evidently. Most shows would crumble under the pressure of having to tell this many character stories in such a short amount of time, but Review Starlight found a formula that works, giving the audience like a full picture of like who each character is, what they love, what motivates them, and the people they ultimately want to become by the end of the show. So the structure of like most episodes of Review Starlight have like a distinct beginning, middle, and end, in which different facets of each character, or like multiple characters even, are explored. So the beginning of each episode will typically show the characters in their day-to-day lives, giving insight into how like they carry themselves and like how they express their values when it comes to the stage, being a stage girl, in a way that's like, you know, very naturalistic. The middle of each episode dives deeper into like their personal struggles and like insecurities, presenting them with like obstacles that they need to overcome if they're to achieve meaningful growth. And finally, at the end of each episode, there is a full stage performance sequence that incorporates elaborate moving set pieces, dazzling fight choreography, and as we talked about before, like the lyrical songs, which add another layer of characterization to all of the characters. And all of these components come together to give each character like a sense of fulfillment and closure as they move on to the next stage of their lives. This formula works so well to like vividly portray each character and give them like time in the spotlight, you know, literally and figuratively, like they're on the stage, you know. Like the ethos of each character is explored by, you know, maximizing like the time and resources of each episode efficiently and effectively, as I said. And I feel confident calling like the stories in Review Starlight some of like the most like compelling and rewarding stories that I've experienced in anime, because it does require a lot of like, you know, attention and like interpretation from the viewer. The show actually like makes a point that like your experience and your interpretation of like the show is actually like essential to like its existence as like a piece of media, because like that's what gives like Review Starlight value, is like, you know, what you think about it, like what it means to you. And I think that's like a very, very powerful message for anybody who's like, you know, involved in like creating like a piece of art in like a medium like anime or like, you know, live TV or just anything else that you can create and people can watch and digest and talk about. I guarantee you that if you like, you know, if you're open-minded and you like know like what the show is about, that you will find at least one character that you deeply resonate with. Or you can be like me and you think that they're all fucking awesome. I think most Review Starlight fans are actually like down for like, oh, these are all god tier characters, and like, that's how I feel about it personally. I think like the worst character in this show is like leagues better than like most other characters in like other anime. So yeah, that's Review Starlight. Show about personal growth, the pursuit of like the best version of yourself, and it does so like in spectacular fashion. And if that sounds interesting to you, I would strongly encourage you to give it a watch with the proper subtitles that I had recommended earlier.
Ignore everything he said and just watch the official translation.
Dude, you can't, bro. It's on Hoopla.
Go to Hoopla, bro. We all
I had your
hoopla.
library card, dude.
We all
Like-
hoopla out here in broad daylight.
Most people, I'm going to say that you guys understand how I feel about this, but most people are not going to understand the immense pain that I feel that I cannot like point people towards a legal like place where you can watch this. It's just not feasible. Or like, I'm not going to tell people to go to Hoopla, bro. Like if it was like a high dive, like, which most people like don't have, I'd be like, you know what, like High Dive like has a good catalog of like anime, so like if you want
High Dive has come a long way.
pay for High Dive for a month. Yeah, they have like an insane catalog now, and Review Starlight used to be part of that, but now it's not.
Womp
reason.
womp.
Hoopla deserves to be
Hoopla.
successful too. You shouldn't take away bits from Hoopla.
Yeah, you're really undercutting Hoopla here, bro. It's really fucked up of you.
Bro, this is the only show on that service that you can't watch anywhere else. The other like 200, we were looking at the. You can like, oh, like you can watch this on Crunchyroll. Oh my god.
You ever think that that's their business model, bro? Maybe they're just looking to cash in on all you fucking Review Starlight lovers, bro.
Bro, there's like 50 of us. Come on.
You're also not making money off of it. It's like renting.
Oh,
It's
hell
like
no.
It's like a library thing.
That's even
It's like
funnier.
a library service.
That's actually
Anyways,
really funny. He's like-
Anyways, please watch this show. Like me, Dylan, and Miguel just like got done finish our rewatch for like the TV series. I want to watch the movie too, but like God, like this show, there's nothing like this show. Nothing like excites me and like gets me like more like exhilarated than like watching like this show. Like, oh god, it's so artistic, thematically dense.
Yeah, I'd say the show's
That's all I
pretty
can
good.
say about it. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not like you gave it a 10 or anything like me.
It's
but,
alright.
you know.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I would call this like my second favorite anime ever. Obviously, behind Sound Euphonium. This show has like come a long way just in my personal experience with it. I remember I was one of the people like who like watched the bad translation of this and thought that the show was just like okay. I remember seeing it for the first time and just like okay, like this, like I get like why people like this, but I, you know, to me like it was just like okay. Watched a good translation of the show, I'm like, oh my god, this shit is fucking godlike, bro. Like that's what can happen if you like watch a good translation of this show. And I want to make sure that anybody who like wants to dive into this show, whether it be just from me talking about it or like the new anime project that's on the horizon, please watch the translations that I recommended. Like I went through the effort of like watching fully through like some translations, sampling more, in order to like land on this as like the correct answer, like the most correct answer that I can possibly like come up with. Please, please. Go,
You will
you
literally die if you
do
don't.
not
Bro.
need to go.
You get, but you will not survive.
This is one of like my life's duties is to recommend the best translation for this show so that people can watch it and have a good experience with it. Anyways, that's all I had to say.
Okay.
If anybody else has anything they want to share about the show, they can.
Any last minute sentiments
Hoshimi
about
Juna,
Ruby Starlight? What'd you say?
Yeah, favorite characters.
Juna is my
favorite
goat.
characters. Hoshimi Juna.
Hoshimi Juna is my goat. That's all it is.
All right, Dylan.
I just got that dog in her, bro. X-rays came back.
Oh Maya.
X-rays came
I
back
think-
positive for dog.
You and Bobby like banana.
Yeah.
Die
Nana.
Banana.
Nana's a goat.
Banana is dope.
Banana.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you need something else to sell you on it, there's a character who's called Banana.
True.
It's like pretty hard.
If you like
Not
bananas.
just that.
There's also a
Dai
giraffe.
banana literally means
Yeah,
big
it's-
banana.
Yeah. It's a pun. Like her first name is or like her family name is
Daiba.
Daiba, and like her first name is Nana. So like Daiba Nana literally means big banana.
Big banana.
Yes.
Very big.
Yes. You will find a character that you like. Trust. So
That's actually true. Like it's like there's 9 of them. You're gonna like one of them. Like
you might like all of them. You know.
yeah.
But you'll like one the most probably. But you'll be like, man, all these characters are fucking good. Anyways,
Futaba is also
All good?
I guess.
yep.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
good.
about it.
All the right. Okay, I am
Until-
last.
until-
Psych. We're
until next
doing.
time.
We're doing Miguel again. Where's the? No, just- okay.
Bro's having fun.
I'm going to be talking about Shadow's House rather. And I actually took it upon myself to rewatch season 1 before I decided to talk about it today. And one thing that immediately stuck out to me is that I definitely rated this too low my first time around.
Ooh.
Like it's like having like going back to it with the knowledge I have now, like it's definitely better than even I thought it was, and I thought it was pretty good back then. I think I gave it like a 7.1 or something, but I think now in current day it's definitely higher. So Shadow's House, I'll give you guys a little background first. The whole reason that I even watched this show was because when going through staff, because we watched this airing, one thing was that it was directorial debut for this guy. Like he hadn't been like a main director on a show yet, so like didn't have any ties there. I was like, okay, you know, that's always kind of a toss up. You don't really know where that's gonna go. The dude on Series Comp though, very like he's done a lot of stuff. Most notably probably landed Illustrious Series Comp, which is like really impressive. And so like that was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, because this guy definitely knows what to bring to the table. But the main selling point actually was the person on music for this one, who happens to be Kenichiro Suehiro, who at the time did music on my favorite series, Girls Last Tour. Well, he's the guy who did music on that series. So I was like, okay, you know, that soundtrack was pretty amazing. I will watch the show because it's week to week, and we will see what happens. Very glad that I did. There's a lot of value in this show. It's very unique. The general premise is that all the characters live in literally the Shadow House, the Shadow's house. It's a big mansion, and the main characters of the story are children, and like it's like set up in a way where the entire mansion that they live in is separated into wings. So there's like a whole hierarchy with like, you start in the children's wing, and then you move up to the first floor and the second floor and the third floor, depending on kind of representing like status within status. And that's like one of the main themes of this show, is like kind of the class struggle. Our characters that we get introduced to at the very beginning are, like I said, children. And they're just beginning to learn about like how the world works and how the mansion is supposed to conduct itself. And there's like there's ongoing power struggle between them, the people watching over them, the people that run the mansion themselves. We talk about like the people at the very, very top, and Grandpa and his fuck ass. There's a lot of stuff here. I think one of the most interesting things is that, so if you look at this key art, if you look at this art, you'll see that every character has kind of a silhouette next to them. It turns out the silhouette looking character is actually the main character. When we talk about this show, these are the characters that have the higher social status. They're the shadows. It's part of the Shadows house, and the normal human looking characters are actually their servants. They're called living dolls. And so each shadow has a corresponding living doll that carries the same exact silhouette, and they act as their face, literally. Like they say, like, you're supposed to act as my face. And at certain points, as the story goes on, you start to learn that the whole dynamic of why all of this was set up in the first place is so that the living dolls, quote unquote, can act as their faces, because the silhouettes, right, they view themselves as incomplete because they cannot express themselves fully, right, because they don't have facial features. And I think that's a very important part of how the show is written and how the world building works, because the main characters, the shadows in the situation, since they don't have facial expressions, you can't really, it's like hard to use that as a point of like character acting, right? Like facial expression is very important in the character acting end, figuring out what characters are feeling, what they're thinking. But they somehow managed to do it even for characters that don't have faces, which is, I think, is impressive in and of itself. There's a lot of body language, there's a lot of mannerisms from the shadow characters that still feel like, even though they don't have expressions, they still have expression, which I think is a really, really big deal. The atmosphere around them creating the world, the atmospheric music, it's like very juxtaposing. I found, like, you guys have been listening to that is actually the soundtrack that's playing or has been playing throughout this episode, is Shadow House's soundtrack, and I found it to be like it's so interesting because sometimes it almost sounds like songs that don't even belong in the show, because it's very somber. It's like a very somber environment. It's very mysterious. It like does really, really well at like making you feel like you don't know what the fuck is going on, and the characters also don't know what the hell is going on. They're trying to find out. And then other times it's like the happiest music in the world, and you're like, hey bro, you know, we're just fucking around cleaning soot. Don't know why don't know why, but they really throw almost everything at you. The characters, so our main two characters, Kate and her face, Miliko. Interesting thing about them is that, so every character in this that has a corresponding face, they are played by the same voice actor, and that was also really important. Really, really interesting to me, because that's hard. It's hard, because when you watch the show, you will find out that even though these characters carry the same, they carry the same side profile, the same silhouette, this and that, right? These are two different characters, like for each voice actor that they have to do, and they have to interact with themselves and interact with others. And I always found that very impressive. The thing about the main characters, though, Kate and Emilico, is that they're actually two different voice actors. They're the only ones that have two different voice actors, and that's thematic. One of the biggest themes with this show is like your sense of self, autonomy, your own identity, and it kind of raises the question of why our characters are, living their lives on rails, right? Why are we deciding to just do what is predetermined for us, or we're just going to believe what people are telling us and question nothing? Like, there's literally a song that they sing that says, "No need to think unnecessary thoughts." Like, there's a whole lot of subjugation and a whole lot of information that is withheld both from the characters in the show and from the audience that you're kind of just left to infer and figure out as time goes on. And upon a rewatch, like, there's a lot of stuff that you can miss, right? There's a lot of really, really little things that you can miss along the way that actually really contribute to kind of that build. And the way that they write the first season, I'm focusing on the first season because I don't want to spoil over the second. But the first season, the way that they write it is it kind of throws you for a loop because we're introduced to the characters, we're kind of getting our basic groundwork, our world building, and we're building, and then the debut happens. The debut is like a really, really big event for the characters. It's really, really important. The entire time up until this point, we were told, like, this is the thing that you need to care about. Make sure you do the thing, right? And then the thing ends and there's more. It's not over yet. And
there's more after a debut.
I know, it's crazy.
Really?
It's crazy. The debut happens in the middle of the season, but it's not even close to like what I would call the actual climax of the show. There's just like a lot here. There's like a lot. I think it's very, very strong thematically, especially in how it relates to, like, you could relate it to real life class struggle. Like, there's so much of that, like, on all levels. Like, we're talking about even the people that rule over, quote unquote, rule over the children in the children's wing. They have their own class struggle within a class struggle. They're all fighting for power. They're all fighting for status. They have their own ideals and ulterior motives that lead to them to make mistakes and make characters that aren't perfect. They're flawed. And they're kind of just like trying to figure it out as it goes along, and it's crazy. It's a really, really crazy show. It's like one of those shows that I was very, very happy picking up on a whim, because, like I said, it wasn't that strong of an association that led me to pick this up. It was literally just a person on music, and like Cloverworks at the time, Cloverworks was good, but they were not heralded nearly as highly as we've come to herald them today. They put out some good stuff, but like now in 2026, we're like, okay, this studio is kind of them, bro. Like, we all know that. Back then, it was like they do some good stuff, but they weren't like, making people's top threes necessarily, like that fuck ass tier list that we saw earlier with a gap in it. Because this is like predates Spy Family and everything, right? So yeah, there's like a lot there.
Cloverworks at the time, where it was really funny because I feel like they had this habit of like, they would just like, so let's say they do 6 shows in a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's pulling a number out of the sky. They just would feel the need to do 3 of them in the same season for some odd reason.
What, like 3 shows in the same season? Yeah, they do.
I know, they still do that. Yeah, it's just like,
something's never changed. Like, yeah, my road with Cloverworks, like, before this show was like, in 2018, I watched Bunny Girl Senpai, right? I skipped Darling in the Franxx, but that was, some people had some things to say about Darling in the Franxx.
This was the year they started to like show out a little bit, because there was Horimiya, One Direct Priority, which was good until it was not, and Shadow's House. So it was like, which are all kind of coming out around the same time.
Yep.
So it kind of got on people's radar, because One Direct Priority was really popular until it was not.
It was.
And then like Horimiya is like a rom-com that like I think most people tend to like, and it's just a solid show. I love it, but to most people they just tend to like it. Promised Neverland, the second season of it came out with those, which was horrendous.
Yeah.
But the first season people kind of liked.
Yeah,
it
the
was
first
like,
season
You know,
was
I
fine.
think this is when, and then Spy Family came like a year or two later.
Yeah.
So I would say like this is when they start to show
Yeah, it's
out.
like really the turning point. Like you can see it, it's like this is,
Yeah.
and then this show is just kind of in there, right? Like it's kind of there, and for that reason, I feel like there's plenty of people that have not watched the show, like for sure. It is it's definitely out there. Like I mean out there in a good way. Because it is an odd show. Like it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird in terms of, you know, how they build the world, how characters interact with each other, kind of the existence of like literally everything. Like I think atmospherically they nailed it so hard. Like even the art style and how like everything that you look at could technically be something else. Like as you're like looking at like normal scenes, you're left to like think about like, is this left shadowy on purpose? Like, is this just normally like how this hallway looks? Is this because, you know, there's a character's soot powers that have been used and this and that? It's like has a very, very grainy feel to it that just, I think, like really contributes to like the overall feel of the show. And I think, like I said, they've really nailed this over two seasons at this point, because, you know, obviously we've watched season 2 and I'm sure there's going to be a season 3 at some point, because it's still releasing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I need more of this at this point.
It's been like 4 years, bro.
I know.
I've forgotten about those shows, bro.
I don't know. I haven't read the source material, so I don't know like how. I gotta assume that there's enough to do a season 3 at this point, but yeah, it does a really good job at like, even though character designs can be similar to each other, you know, those characters in and of themselves can be drastically different, and that is like literally a point for, you know, character growth and their development as time goes on. There's just a really good show, man. Just really good. Like one of those sleeper picks that I would put for people. And like I said, I went back and watched it and I was like, bro, this is actually like better than I thought it was even at the time. I'm like, wait a minute, they kind of snapped it.
I remember my experience watching the show. I have not rewatched it, but you know, I've watched both seasons.
Mhm.
I definitely remember in season 1, I was like, I left going like, man, I feel like I'm just constantly have questions that I kind of want answers to.
That's a good thing though. Like that's the point. Yeah,
that's a good thing. Like, you know, it's nice for them to like drip feed information and like kind of make you wonder stuff. But I definitely was like a little bit like frustrated. It's like, man, I want to like know more about this fucking place.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And, like, which, you know, you get the second season, which honestly it kind of does more of the same. Like, yes, you learn a lot, but then you also even have even more questions.
Yeah.
So you are left like in the same spot. But I do think the show's really it's a cool show. I think it's a little bit, I don't want to say hard to recommend, but it's hard to talk about because you can't say too much
without spoiling.
Like unlocking it. Yeah. So it's like it's just kind of, but like, it's kind of like a yo, trust me, bro.
No facts. That's all I was like. I'm just gonna keep it to season 1 because.
Yeah, because one of the first questions you get, like when you start meeting the living dolls and all the shadows, other than Kate and Miliko, it was like, yo, how come all these other shadows have like almost the same name? So you start wondering like right there. It's like, you know, Patrick and Ricky, John, Sean, which is not the same, but you know, rhymes get similar, and then the red-haired one, which was like, it was literally like the same.
Lou and Luis.
Lou and Luis. And like it's like, obviously it's our main characters, so it's like, all right, main character special. Yep, makes sense. But Mary Rose and Rosemary,
Barbara and Barbie, like it's like literally all. And
so it's like
good.
No, it's just kind of like you start to like immediately wonder, like, okay, wait, our main character is Kate and Miliko. That's obviously way different from the other one. Yeah. So you start to like immediately get questions, and like
she actually doesn't even have a name when you start the show. Like she doesn't have a name at all. So like
I would hope that
you get to go through that.
Yeah, are people doing shit by accident?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's what I mean by like that theme of being your own person instead of like being the predetermined version of yourself, and characters kind of breaking out of that is like a really big deal. And you know, kind of discovering yourself and your hidden potential, like that stuff is all there. for sure. And then there's, the weirdos are out here too, bro. Like, there's some crazy shit that some of these characters, I'm like, yo, what? Like, what
I
is
will say
going
this,
on?
like, if you watch Shadow's House, like just off the vibes alone, you could like enjoy yourself. It's like the being in the house and like just everything there. Music is good. Riona's also godlike. But that's just the opening, but that doesn't still godlike. Just watch Shadow's
Yeah,
House.
no, the soundtrack is legitimately great. Like it's just a fantastic OST, especially in context. I think what it does for the show itself, like it elevates it for sure. And I'm glad that that's the case, because that was the reason that I decided to pick it up in the first place.
Yeah. But at the minimum, like I said, the vibes are gonna be sick. Even if you don't know what's going on, you're just wondering like, what the fuck is going on here? But vibes are cool.
True.
Like,
True.
This show is like really cool in my mind because like the way the space that like Shadow's House occupies in my mind is that there is no show like this. Like there's like it's very hard to compare another show to like Shadow's House, just because like the approach is like so unique, and like all of like the merits that you talked about earlier with like character design and like expressions or lack thereof, and like just the way like the whole thing is like structured. It's really hard to like say another show that like does similar things to this show, and I think that's to its strength. It like stands out in my mind because it's unique. In like times when like being unique gets harder and harder and harder as like more things come out and like more things become successful, and then
you're telling me the 17th
yeah. and like you're so tempted to just like copy like what's popular and successful. Yeah, like, and it's cool that like everything that like you could probably like talk about this show, like things that Khalil has talked about, like they are like likely intentional and deliberate. Like the fact that like the main character and like or like the main Shadow and like Living Doll have like different voice actors. Like they're the only pairing that like has that. Like that's probably like deliberate. The whole like premise of like the Shadows and like the Living Dolls like being their faces, and like how like their literal like facial expressions are like an important thing that they're missing. That really like speaks to like people like us who like value character acting a lot, and when that part is literally absent from like half of like what makes each pairing, like that's like compelling. And yeah, like everything like has meaning, and like it's definitely like a show that like you can really like sink your teeth into and just like think about, talk about with people who've also seen the show. I've definitely like had like very like interesting and like fascinating conversations like the show, just like from us watching it, and I'm like just thinking about it on my own. Really cool show. Glad you chose to talk about it today.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go. Yeah, 2021. Just another pandemic show. I'm definitely gonna finish the full rewatch. I'm gonna rewatch season 2 as well for sure, and hope that we get something else soon.
It's been too long.
It has been a while. It has been
4 years older than I was when we finished the second season.
Time has passed.
The passage of time, it comes full circle.
Yes, Miguel's show, bro. We're back to talking about Makia. Passage of time. But yeah, no, I think trying out any of the shows that we've named here today, I think would satisfy most people. Obviously, not every show is for everyone. Some of y'all don't want to like things, bro. What'd you say?
Yeah, I watch all in Gintama.
Yes, all of it. Bobby compels you, bro. You must watch.
No, you just watch Genpachi's 80 class.
Just Yo, Bobby, how fucking confused would someone be if they just watched that and nothing else? Like if they've never watched Gintama before. But he's muted,
yeah,
so he
I
might
think it's some delay.
Yeah,
but, like imagine like his rage. It was just like somebody watching that show and like just like not watching.
Yeah, I thought this was a substitute, bro.
I thought like this is gonna give me everything that Gintama ever was and will ever be.
Stop the recap.
The recap. Oh my god.
I thought this was Spanish class. You hate to see it. But yeah, I think that's all we got for them, right? That's it.
Yep. That's 5 shows / movies.
There you go. And there it is, our show, like one of our shortest casts ever. Go figure. He's the
It was intentional. Like
Yep.
we said, we didn't
That's
want
true.
to do,
We
like, fucking
we had to
5-hour
address
cast
this.
anymore.
The elephant in the room, bro. It had to be done, but yeah, we're gonna try to do this like pretty regularly, as long as we can get people's schedules to line up. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the format for this, and we'll keep bringing you guys 6 shows. Because we have way too many of them. We have way too many good shows to talk about.
This was really fun to do. Like, this is an idea that like we kind of had for a while, because like I think we all share like the feeling that like the best part about doing like a podcast like this is just talking about shows that we think are cool.
Yeah.
And like talking about like why they're cool.
Or exposing people to shows that are also good. Yeah.
Yeah, and we all have like collectively we have like an extremely like
some ungodly amount of time, bro.
Yeah. And we can really like bring like a lot of like these shows to light and really like get people to like watch them, I feel, and like get them interested when they wouldn't have been interested otherwise. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of this. We're intending on doing this like once a month. You know, barring like any like other like complications.
Yeah, some months are gonna get crazy with tournaments and shit, but yeah. For sure.
Tournaments for you, like Bobby's like moving in like a month. So
yeah.
like I expect that to be like a pretty like busy time for a lot of us. So we're gonna try to do this like once a month. Like that's something that I think that we can like manage to do. And it's fun, and I want to do it often. So
for sure.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool.
All right, cool. With that, I think we can go ahead and get up out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the vibes, it will obviously be uploaded up on YouTube, so subscribe to the channel, this and that. And whenever we inevitably tear our hair out trying to get everyone scheduled together for another one, we'll figure that out and let you guys know. But thanks for watching.